Everyone in Macon, Georgia, and everyone else around the world. This is the Morning Roast for Thursday, April 18th, 2013. It's 8:11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time in Macon. It's 55 degrees outside in Macon, Georgia. It's nice and sunny with a high of 84 and a low of 65. And
gee, I hope Anthony doesn't get mad.
Damn it, this is bullshit! I told you to keep my table cleared. Yeah, baby!
Well, he finally finished that freaking tantrum.
That was great. He actually looked mad.
Yes.
You're a good actor. Anyway, welcome back.
Welcome!
Derek's the one who gets the women.
Verbal buys his darn, he's back.
Scarecrow?
What's that?
I said, when you act, he gets the women when he acts. You get the Scarecrow, Tin Man.
I get the gay Jews of Hollywood. That's what I get.
Davis?
That's what I get.
Yeah.
Davis?
Lord. That was good. You picked that
It's
thing
not
up
that
like a little
It looks heavier.
empty box.
It looks heavier than it is.
Oh,
I'll move it
well.
in a minute.
Well,
Good morning.
Welcome back. We're glad to have you.
Yeah, but I did like being on the other end. I think once if you guys
have to
are
see it from the other
I-
end.
Don't make it a
I
habit.
was about to say, I suggest everybody do that. Once a week, one of us should be allowed to take a day off and watch it from the other end.
Okay.
And then Chris, well, you can.
Mm-hmm.
And then Chris,
Okay.
and then Chris comes in,
Jumping on
or
that.
someone else comes in. Because really, I kind of like being on the chat board.
Well, Ed, you're doing that already. You got two.
Well,
That's
he
what I'm
is
telling
doing
you guys. When we're doing something, you can't talk. They can hear every word you say.
Yeah, the mic is clear.
Yeah,
The mic is more clear than
But we
it looks.
need you here, Ed. We need you. We need your bantering and your bullshit.
No. I actually, I want to go ahead and get
jump
this out
on
the
this
way.
quick. These
I got
Amber Alerts
an
have to go
Amber
out
Alert.
quick.
I got an Amber Alert
Let's do this.
from a little kid. This is from ABC7 in Chicago. Police have issued an Amber Alert for Breon Hunter, Bryeon, Brian Hunter, a 1-year-old boy taken from the 6th in Maine in Maywood. The child is apparently taken by 3 male Hispanics. The African-American boy is 2 feet tall and 30 pounds. He was wearing a 2-tone blue striped long-sleeve shirt, jeans, and brown Nike boots. And basically, anyone from the Chicago, Illinois area, please look for this young child.
Or anywhere else, because usually if
Which
somebody
line?
takes somebody, they head out of the state.
They get out of
They
state.
either go south, east, west, north, so.
Well, in Chicago, if they go north, they're gonna wind up in Canada.
There's not much.
So it'll be, and
They
they
could be
could
heading
be
south.
coming here because
Yeah.
Chicago has some relationship with us. We got a lot of people from Chicago and Macon, Georgia.
Well, I noticed that was
And in
Ohio.
Georgia.
Ohio, too. A lot of people
Yeah.
in Ohio come to Macon
Yeah.
for some reason.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they always say, Ohio, how are you?
Hello.
That's how you know them.
Right, that's a little boy.
Yes, that's
There he
Brian
is.
Hunter.
Oh my God, I would go crazy. If I had a
And-
little
and-
kid that cute, and God forbid anything happened, I would be going
Derek,
nuts.
so there's no information. Do they think a parent took him? Did an uncle and a grandparent take him? Or was what? There's nothing about that, huh?
No, not that we know of this. That's all I've received so far about the
God bless
information.
him. Wherever you are, little child, I hope that the angels are with you. Lord.
Yes.
Anyway,
I do have one story here for at least far as families. Speaking of families.
Let's jump into
In
it.
Atlanta, a DeKalb County family has been awarded more than $17 million.
how come they get all the money and I'm always broke?
Yeah.
Everybody makes money.
Well, but you haven't sued anybody yet.
Not
You
yet.
have to attempt to sue them to get the money. These
Yeah,
people
that's
apparently
true.
sued
You
them
got to
to
be
get
in
the
it to win it.
That's
Yes.
right.
The DeKalb County family has been awarded more than $17 million in after a jury found a physician's assistant liable for causing the man's brain injury. Sherrod Merritt was hit by a stray bullet in a shooting and was taken to Grady Hospital for surgery. His parents say he was in a coma when they came to pick him up. The Merritt's attorney said an Emory University anesthesiologist and a Grady's physician assistant didn't follow proper procedures when Merritt was coming out of surgery. A civil complaint alleged Merritt went without oxygen for 7 to 8 minutes.
Ooh.
Grady spokesman Denise Simpson tells WSB. Merritt spokeswoman tells WSB TV. Merritt violently awoke from anesthesia and fought with medical personnel. In the process, she says his breathing tube came dislodged. The hospital is appealing the ruling.
Well, I'll tell you what. I used to live in Atlanta. You used to live in Atlanta, Irvin.
Yeah.
Dad kind of used to live
I
in
live
Atlanta.
in North Atlanta, but it's like Atlanta.
Did you ever live kind of in Atlanta? I know you went up there for a lot of film gigs.
Yeah, I commuted there, but never lived there.
If you're not from here and in the area in Atlanta, Grady Hospital is not the best hospital.
Oh, it's terrible.
This is basically the hospital where they send everybody that has no insurance. This is the one where you
They
go.
restructured like 3 times.
Yeah, I mean this is one of the worst hospitals in the southeast, if
Yep.
not the nation. And so
It's not Emory, that's for sure. Emory
So-
Hospital's a decent
Well,
one.
yeah. I mean, they have some top-notch people, but that explains it too. Why Grady gets this black eye, because they obviously are employing people that really don't know what the hell they're doing. You know, I guess if the assistant doesn't know that you're supposed to hook oxygen up to the guy
Yeah.
when you move
To
him for
breathe.
6 or 7 minutes, you know, what else do they not know there at Grady? So, well, good for them. I mean, you know. People have to pay, right? If they do something wrong, they should pay.
Well, now they're going to be broke again. They just finished doing a restructuring just about the time when I left there. So that was, 4 years ago. I'm here now about 4 years. Just before I got here, they had gone through all this restructuring and a new, the new head of the hospital.
Right.
They cleaned up house, and now they got the $17 million lawsuit. And I see Sutton's face on there. I want to see this.
Okay. This is from an upcoming story that I have ready.
You want to hold on?
I don't know how.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what. Irvin and I, before you. We'll get to. I don't want to jump so quickly from Grady Hospital to this, but Irvin and I have a little something we heard at the meeting we went to last night.
That's correct.
And even though they didn't officially release this, but you guys want to go with that now or hold it till later?
No, I agree with you. Let's hold it till later.
I mean, because we
still
try
got
to
a lot.
hold our Sutton stuff and our
Yeah.
fight against the city till 9 o'clock usually, so we
That's
hopefully have
correct.
a little more viewers.
Also, it's going to entail us talking about going to this meeting and this and that, and we want people to remember. So maybe midway through the show, second half, we can talk about Sutton and all the craziness that's going on with Sutton. I wanted to bring up some news that's a little foreign. It is about Thatcher, but it's really not about Thatcher dying. It really is about the Queen. The Queen is watching everybody in her life die now. I mean, you get to a
she's
point, I
outliving
swear to God.
She's outliving everybody.
She's outliving everybody.
Yeah.
Now, and I'm not even going to bring up the story. I'm just going to make a commentary. Could you imagine being on that end of the spectrum where everybody that you know that's your age or just a little under is dying off? And I saw her at the funeral, and she was sitting real somber by herself. And I could feel it from her that she's like, well, yeah.
Here, another one. Here goes another one.
Another one.
And I'm still
But
here.
remember, her mother died at like 110. I don't even know how old.
There's some good genes in that there body.
So I know Prince Charles with his big ears, he's waiting to hear his mother died so he can take over.
I think Prince Charles is going to die before his mother.
I think so.
Probably.
Wouldn't that be horrible?
Well, it might happen.
Yeah,
You guys like it like
yeah,
that?
because his
Well,
wife
you
was
want
stressing
that
him. His
part.
new wife was stressing him out.
How's it look on the screen?
No one's looking at it. Neither
Well,
of
she
them.
can't be
Yeah.
queen.
There we go.
Looks good.
Can she can't be queen, right?
Huh?
The wife can't be queen.
What? Why?
Only if Prince Charles, only if Queen Elizabeth
Supposed
died.
to stay in the bloodline.
No, yeah, I don't think she can either. Saibuki
No.
would know better. Is Saibuki on? I don't think she can become. Well, I don't think she become queen either, just because the whole way she got in that relationship.
Right,
That's
right.
completely was unheard. That's not unheard of. Of course, the royal family. Has
Well, that's what happened with
problems
the
and-
original, the
But I thought
parents.
that was the whole thing about it, was that he had already married Diana,
Right.
and even though she died in a crash, everybody and their brother knew that their relationship was not smooth.
Oh, yeah.
Before she died,
From the beginning.
everybody knew that Charles and Di were not the perfect couple they were trying to show the world that they were. So I think
Far
something
from it.
about when that happened, I don't know. I might be wrong. I don't follow the
No,
royal
but,
family.
no,
They're
no.
saying that they
I
wouldn't
just
allow,
supposed
they
to
wouldn't
be
allow Camilla to be
bloodline.
queen.
I don't
even if-
think so.
No,
I don't
because
think so.
if you remember the mom, the old woman, the queen's mother, she was queen, but it was her husband who was king, and the bloodline went to him when the other guy abdicated the throne, gave it to his brother George, whatever the hell his name was. Then he died, and then the queen became queen, the little queen.
Yeah, current queen.
Little queen. Anyway, the little queen became the queen. And now if she...
They used to call you that, right, Irvin?
Yeah,
The
they used
little
to call me
queen.
that all the time. now, they still do. And, but then now it would go to either Prince Charles or it would go to the grandson. It won't go to Mrs. Bowles and
No.
any of these idiots.
No.
It won't even go to the girl that's now married to...
Well,
Prince
she
William.
will be queen if William becomes king because he's married to her, because he's part of the bloodline. He can do that.
As long as he's in the blood.
That's why Prince Philip, Queen Elizabeth's husband, will always be Prince Philip. He
Yeah,
won't
he's
be-
not.
Right,
king.
he can't be king.
Right.
He
Which
can't be
always
king.
sounds so weird because you know, through history, we grow up in school to learn that, we go way back to the 1700s, 1800s.
Yeah.
It was king and queen, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It wasn't none of this king and princess and prince and queen. It was always, King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella for Spain. King Henry,
They only mentioned one.
But yeah, now it's like you got a queen, but she's married to a prince, which kind of doesn't sound right.
No.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense, but that's
Yeah.
what
Well, anybody married, you see, you picked
I know
up
that's
on
a totally
that.
different
I
prince.
was
That's
about
good,
to,
Derek. I
Ah,
want to
you
Philip is
beat
wearing
me
some
to the
buttless
punch.
chaps.
he beat me to the punch.
That's right.
All right, well,
But anyway, Saibuki on, is he chiming in on this, or he just said screw this? Oh, he's not even here.
He's not even here.
All right, well, he'll help.
all right, well, anyway, I just wanted to make note. I saw
Oh,
that.
Tower of London's on, and I'm here, which means Heather must be on. Heather's on with my name, because
Yeah.
Tower of London's on.
There's a song that mentions Tower of London. I'm trying to remember the name.
Well, I picked it for a few reasons when I picked it way back when I
Yeah, but
signed
do you
it.
know the song?
I don't know if I do. I know a
Tower
song,
of
Tower
London.
of Strength.
Huh?
I know a song, Tower of Strength, by the Mission UK.
Right.
A British band has a song called Tower of Strength.
Yeah, well, there's a Christian song called
if it's Christian
"You
song,
Are
I
My Tower."
I definitely don't know what it
You
is.
Are My Fortress.
I don't listen to much
Dang,
Christian.
geez.
I mean, I don't listen to Christian.
It's
music.
actually more
Yeah, but
rock.
maybe-
I know the old standbys like Amazing Grace and some of the old gospel classics.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Wow,
when you
you're
start,
amazing.
When you start going into like real new Christian music or Christian music of the past 20 years, I can't tell you anything. No, I don't listen to Christian music.
Aye, well.
Sorry, I just don't.
Anyway,
But
this,
Tower of London is numerous things. Okay, there's the whole. Speaking of royalty, the whole Tower of London that
Yeah.
they said King Richard III had put
Yeah.
those boys in. They were torturing people in the Tower of London back in the day.
yeah.
Yeah.
There was a great movie, a Hammer flick, about it called Tower of London, starring Boris Karloff and Basil Rathbone.
Oh, I like
I have a
Boris.
copy of that on VHS. It's a good movie. And but as I said yesterday, it was a run on Jack London because Jack London was one of my favorite authors, is one of my favorite authors, and was when I was younger. You know, Call the Wild, White Fang, The Sea Wolf, all that.
Jack
So,
London.
That's kind of why the name too, out of nowhere, just came up. You know, because that was my reference within my name to my obsession with wolves and liking dogs.
Yeah, DJ Mean Gene says there's a Tower of London song, but by the group ABC, I guess from the 80s, right?
Oh, is that the one you're talking about?
What?
Mean Gene says there's a song called Tower of London by the group ABC.
Yeah, that's it.
But that's not a
I
Christian
know there's a song.
That's not a Christian song. ABC did
No. I said,
and
and there's another song.
Okay. Yeah, I know ABC well. I just don't remember that song by him. I mean, I remember.
Oh, you see? Eugene. Well, Eugene's a DJ, so he knows.
Yeah.
If you want to know music, ask him. He'll know.
Plus, I wanted to kind of do another reference to British, and when I came on with that name, I wanted everybody to kind of think I was another guy in Britain, so I used Tower of London.
I didn't know it was you up until you started.
I know, which was really funny because I'm watching and I'm hearing them rail on me. They have no idea I'm watching, and that's what was so funny about it because
I wasn't railing
well,
on you.
you weren't bad, but I got thick skin. I don't care, but. That's why.
What did I say that made you look
well,
at that?
when you started telling the story, I thought it was so funny when you go, we're going to come back from this break and we're going to leave in suspense.
Yeah,
I
was leaving them in
So I'm
suspense.
sitting at the computer going, now this is going to be good. So then when you come on, and then the first thing you say is not even true. Well, part of it's true. You say Anthony was early. He showed up early.
Partially
to us,
not true.
which was right. But then you proceed to go, Anthony was early. He got here about 8:03. And I was like,
yeah,
I
was off. I was off by a few
minutes. I got there
minutes.
like 10 minutes to 8 because you got there about 7:30.
Well,
and I was thinking,
you got here about 7:30.
I got about 7:50.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking, wait a minute, Irvin's already screwing up the story. He's telling the people I came in at 8:03. So I just listened along. And then, of course, it was funny. And Derek didn't say anything, really.
But I did say you were early.
Yeah, it was funny to hear you and Ed kind of just slightly, like, get your jabs in.
Well,
Ed was like, yeah, Ed needs to put on his big boy. You know, he didn't say big boy britches, but I paraphrase it. He's like, yeah, he's whining.
He was just mad.
And so that's what was funny. So then when I started,
ridiculous.
When I finally wrote that I was, let me tell the real story. It was funny because you guys were like, oh, Ant's Tower of London.
Yeah, Ant's on. He's Tower of London. But that was a good name, by the way. I like the name.
I did it for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
So. But anyway, when you see Tower of London, and now that I'm sitting here, Tower of London is obviously my wife, Heather, who's getting ready for work.
Heather,
hello,
how
Heather.
are you, my dear?
Love you.
Mm-hmm. We love you.
Hope the kids got off to school.
He loves you. He loves you more.
Thank you for supporting this show by helping out the way you do and being a good mother.
Great wife.
For putting up with all my crap I'm doing in order to get to this show every morning.
Great friend. Oh,
so,
Lord. Anyway.
You want to get to the main big news as far as nationally about this big explosion in Texas?
Yeah, let's do that. Why don't you got it?
Yeah, speaking of crap.
And explosions.
Yes, there was a huge, massive, hundreds have been hurt and dozens feared dead after a fertilizer plant explosion. In Waco, Texas.
Go with that story.
That Waco is so wacko.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't in Waco. It was near.
It was near Waco, Texas.
I think it was called West Texas.
It's North Texas.
West Waco.
No, the name of the actual city was like West something, I think. Anyway, go ahead.
A raging fire followed by a massive explosion at a fertilizer plant in North Texas has devastated a small community. The plant is located in West Texas.
There you go.
A small town of 2,800 people, 18 miles north of Waco. As many as 60 homes and local businesses, including a nearby nursing home, were severely damaged when some residents were killed or trapped inside. The explosion is also believed to have claimed the lives of several firefighters, EMTs, and other first responders who were on the scene to battle the initial blaze. The current estimate of casualties is pegged at least 170 wounded and 5 to 15 people killed, although those numbers could rise dramatically. We continue to update this post throughout the day as more information becomes available.
And when I first heard it, of course,
Sounds like a terrorist
Well,
attack.
it did because again, we're still around.
It's a fertilizer.
We're still around April 19th and the 20th when those other things happen. We've had Boston Massacre #2 with the Boston Marathon. You know, so of course, the first thing you think, like you said, fertilizer, which is one of the components when you make homegrown bombs.
Yep.
Is fertilizer.
Then you had talk about the things that happened in Columbine
Yes.
school shootings, and also the Oklahoma City killings.
And Texas is known to have a lot of crazies. Let's face it.
Oh yes, the
Texas,
Waco siege,
yeah.
the actual Waco siege
Well, I mean,
with
not only-
David
Wacko.
Koresh.
Not
I
only
call it
that.
wacko.
I mean, not only that.
That whole place is wacky.
Well, I mean, but in the case of Waco, even the feds were wacky in that. I mean,
I know.
That's a case where not even you can't just say the Branch Davidians were
Yeah,
really wacky.
what's her name? What was her name?
The frickin' what's her name? The
Attorney General.
Bigfoot, the Bigfoot woman, the one Janet Reno.
Janet Reno.
I mean,
Bigfoot woman.
even everybody involved on the federal side were wacko in that.
I know.
Wacky. I mean,
And then there was
that's
all
why
sorts
4
of
of them
wacky
got
stuff.
shot and killed because of the way they tried to storm that. That was a completely bad plan.
Bad.
Bad plan.
Bad.
I mean,
Well-
whoever was, I think Chief Burns must have been working for them then or something, or Rickert, because that shit was absolutely
Was bad.
ridiculous the way
And then
wow.
they had the little kid that was,
I mean-
during that whole time, they had the little kid that the father
children's
wanted him
yeah.
back in Cuba. And she
Elian
went in with
Gonzalez.
big
Elian
guns.
Gonzalez,
Oh my
Well,
God.
that woman
That was a
definitely
bad
was.
area.
That-
Era,
Well,
whatever.
you don't hear much about her legacy, do you?
No.
Well, you don't hear much about her legacy.
I actually know
Jenna
somebody who
Reno's
worked
wife?
for her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they're putting her face on a dollar bill or any sort of currency.
There's somebody in Macon that actually worked for her. I'm trying to remember. And literally like,
Probably Chief Burns. Anyway.
hey,
Wow.
this newspaper is stupid.
Which one?
The
Telegraph?
Telegraph.
You just realized that?
Today, no. Today I can get on their site and there's no block. So
Yeah.
what do? 1 week no block, another week block.
Who knows?
Is that how they do it?
Who knows?
Who?
I can pick up any story right now.
Who?
So I think I'll do that.
Pick
Don't
'em
hold
up.
your brother. Don't hold your brother. It may be just a way just to mess with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Click on something, then boom, whoop, big old block.
And a big
Right
old
here.
block. And you have to go like this to read the story, kind of look around. Anyway, we got something else here. You got something?
Yeah. Got a story.
Oh, well, check the chatters. We're supposed to check the chatters every 7 minutes
Okay.
or so. Because they might be saying something about this fertilizer thing.
Oh yeah, coffee guy, your brother is
What's up,
says
coffee
West
guy?
Texas. It says not the west part of Texas, but west, that's the
Yeah,
actual name.
That's what I was
Okay.
saying.
Yeah.
Happy Fanny says the suspect packages sent to senators and Obama. Yeah. Vorprovide says it's spring, you fools. Farmers need their fertilizer, peak season. You realize that. Speaking of which, yeah, that's a good thing you mentioned that, Happy Fanny. Yeah. It is a fertilizer plant. Fertilizer can be used to make high explosives, like I was talking about yesterday.
Yeah.
And is a low explosive when used with high explosive. I'm hopeful it's just a horrible accident.
It's really
No.
easy to find out how to make stuff. I've owned a copy, and I still have it to this day. Of course, I got my copy back, I think, in the early 90s. I own a copy of the Anarchist Cookbook. If any of y'all have ever heard of the Anarchist Cookbook.
Yeah.
You've heard of this, right?
Yeah. Well, I heard.
Written around the 60s, 70s, around the time, when all the lots of protests were going on.
That's when
And I have that book.
anarchists started coming out like really like
Well, no, I mean,
Like the gays,
There's
they
a big
just,
history.
were open
of
about it.
Hell, it goes way back to Proud
Yeah.
Hund and Emma Goldman and all them. But the thing about it is that book is broken up in chapters about all sorts of things you can make. It shows you how to make bombs. It shows you how to what kind of different things.
You still got that book?
Oh yeah, I'm proud to have it. It's one of my favorite books because I really
I don't know.
I'll
I'm
bring
just
it in because the real thing about it is let's face it, whether you agree or not with the technique or the idea, to me it is information that as free human beings we should all be able to have access to. I mean, let's face it, right?
Sure.
I don't think only the government should have access.
I want to know how to make a bomb.
Well, weapons in general. It shows you how to make other weapons
There's
too.
YouTube
Really?
videos.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But you got to remember.
A rubber band and two pieces of
you-
stick, and you make a.
You have to
slingshot.
remember, Ed, that the Anarchist Cookbook was written long before the computer. The way it is now. So this is put out before we can just go now and Google it, and you can figure out how to find out how to make
Thank
anything.
God for Google.
But But the point is that we should have access to that information. It doesn't mean we should be wackos and crazies and go make bombs and leave them at the Boston Massacre. But you should be able to have access to that information, because I do truly believe if it comes to a point where you have to fight against a government, a tyrannical government, a controlling dictatorship that does maybe in the future try to take over its people, the people should have access and know-how concerning making things to fight back against a government that has very powerful weapons.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's something we should have. But anyway, I just wanted to say that it is easy to figure out and find out how to make these bombs with this stuff. Who was it? Vogelbite? We know that farmers, come to these places to get fertilizer. We're not saying that.
But it looks.
The point is that we know it's
too
probably
suspicious.
just. Well, no, I think it's an innocent explosion. I don't think that this was another terrorist
Well, you
attack.
never know. Maybe they went in there to steal the fertilizer,
But it was-
and the guy tipped something over and it blew up. Who knows?
But I don't think this is any conspiracy. I think this is just an unfortunate incident. But I'm just saying,
Kinda spooky.
my first thought, of course, when I heard it, I can't deny that the first thing that went into my mind when I heard it was, another terrorist attack.
It's the first
That's
thing
the
I
first thing
thought.
that hit me because of the time period we're in. We're around April 20th. We're right now in that time period when all this crap seems
Fertilizer.
to happen. Fertilizer. Texas played into it. I mean, let's face it, Texas has some wacky stuff happening there.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, but
And they always want to secede from the Union. So maybe this is a way of them showing, terrorist attack. You know what I mean?
well, I don't know if Texas always want to succeed from the Union.
Oh yeah.
They want to succeed from Mexico, but that's a completely different country. I mean, no.
Yeah, but no.
You know what I mean?
They're never gonna go anywhere.
but-
Mexico's there. I think Texans could be anti-establish America. I'm telling you.
Well,
I think that residue, just like the South, the racism. I think in Texas they still think they should be their own country, the Lone Star State, and that kind of stuff.
Right.
Anyway.
Well, don't mess with Texas.
Yeah.
Don't mess with Texas. And every Texas white boy is about as big as a tree. You ever notice that? I think the way the world hangs over there makes people stretch out. It just seems like everybody from Texas is gigantic.
They grow.
Everything in Texas is big.
And then you go
Well,
to
that would
Mexico and
explain-
they're all
well-
short Mayans.
That would, yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah,
They're
that would
short
explain
Mayans.
my time back when I was going to freshman orientation. Back when I first
Yeah.
went to UGA, there was this dude that was freaking huge. He was like, he had been like about 6'6" or something, 250. And I was looking at him, and I thought he was just smiling, grin, because I guess it was the first time he was out
Out of his
town.
little four walls, huh?
Yeah, he was just like, and I was like, excuse me,
You kind of goofy, aren't you?
are you no? Oh please, that would have been suicidal, man.
Oh, wow.
Please, biggest. He said,
Yeah, I heard about
you
that.
Are you a freshman? He said, yeah, I'm a freshman. Yeah, I'm a freshman. He
Yeah.
was smiling. I'm a freshman. Like, for real? Yeah, you sure you're a freshman?
They grown big.
And then said, okay, then I went, let me rephrase the question. Are you 18?
Right.
Yeah, I'm 18. Oh, you must be from Texas, huh?
Did you keep?
How you know?
Did you keep in touch with them?
Shoot, no, man.
Come on, now, Derek. Everybody needs a big guy on their side occasionally.
Well, I
Yeah,
used
but he
to
made
have them.
Shrek look like a dwarf, man. That dude
Yeah.
was huge.
You definitely need
When
him
I
on
was
your
in
side.
school, I had all the football players protecting me. Like all the big black guys, they would say, "Hey,
So that was
shorty."
a gay football team.
Yeah.
A lot of butt
Who
slapping
knows?
in that block.
Who knows? Oh, did I tell you very briefly? There was a guy which I thought was a girl, and I wound up finding out that he was a guy who kept hitting on me, sending me notes. I really like you. Let's get together.
Check a box. Will you go out
And,
with me? Yes or no?
One day I'm looking at it because it was pretty much very effeminate looking guy, and I realized this is a guy.
I know.
And I was starting to, like him.
Game. Down, 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 down.
We talked about this.
Wow.
I'm not into effeminate guys or into guys at all now, but I'm not into that whole effeminate nonsense. I get annoyed. That's why I never fit in.
Right. Well, because you have a good point. If you're going to be gay, because you're not attracted to females, why would you be attracted to a feminine guy?
It doesn't make any
Right.
sense to me. It's like complete.
Good morning,
Did
Sabu.
they call that an oxymoron?
Yeah.
Saibuki, thank you. You're on. We were talking about something before you showed up. Since you are our
English major.
resident Brit, well, we have a couple of them on here from there, I believe. We were talking about the royal system. Irvin had brought up how the queen's getting old as hell, and she's seeing everybody die around her. And
terrible.
In the case of Margaret Thatcher. And then we started talking, we got into bloodlines and the whole thing with the king and queen system. We believe, correct us if we're wrong, that Camilla could never be queen.
No.
Right? Even if Prince Charles became king, she would still not be called queen. Is that correct or no?
She'll be called like the Duchess.
Just like
Princess.
the queen's husband Philip is not king, he's a prince. So is that correct, Saibuki?
No, she would be royal consort.
Right.
There you go. Thank you.
Right.
So look, we sounded smart on this show without having Saibuki.
No, I
'Cause
knew.
we said that we
I
didn't think she
knew
could
because
be.
of the father of Queen Elizabeth.
Right.
He had when he died, the throne went to her. It didn't go to the mother,
Right.
and so I knew that. And before
Well,
that,
it didn't go to the mug. She was already queen.
right?
You see? Yeah.
Well,
But-
the mother.
Yeah.
The one
No,
who's
the
queen
mother
now.
was a royal consort, whatever. She was the wife of the king. But I don't even think they're given the title queen unless
Who are you talking
You're-
about, Irvin?
I'm talking about the parents, Queen Elizabeth's parents.
Wait, she was queen.
Well, but technically not. She's like a royal consort. Like
No, that's
she's
why
not
she's
a
called
queen.
queen now.
A queen is given only to a real queen. That's the way it is. Am I right, Saibuki?
Is that true, Saibuki? I thought.
Like the guy that's with her, the husband.
Yeah, he's a
He-
prince. He
well,
can't be the king. We know
he's
that.
given a different title.
He's
There's
Prince
another
Philip.
title.
He's Prince Philip. But the thing
You
about
need
it,
direct blood to carry that title.
exactly. That's what.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's what Derek
Queen.
was saying.
Queen, correct?
But she is direct blood.
Yeah, it says technically going by old rules, he shouldn't be king. He divorced and married another.
That's what I said too.
Married another
That-
divorced
that's
Catholic.
what I said,
Old rules
too.
would have stopped him from being.
Yeah, but
crowned.
now what do they call Prince Philip, right?
He's Prince Philip.
Prince Philip.
Right.
And then there's the royal bullshit of London. What is her name? Bowles. What is she?
Camilla Parker
Camilla.
Bowles.
Yeah, she became something.
She's called the Royal Hoochie.
the
Yeah. or
the
or
royal tampon.
or
like you said.
the Rottweiler or Pitbull, whatever Princess Di used to call
That
it.
is one
She,
ugly woman.
yeah, she does look like a Rottweiler or Pitbull. She
Yeah.
look like she been chewing on some bones.
Yeah, that's a dog.
In her time.
Yeah,
Alright.
I don't know what Charles sees in her. That's
I know.
for sure.
It's kind of like Ray J dumping Kim Kardashian for Whitney Houston, may she rest in peace. But which speaking of which, did you hear? He had a song called "I Hit It First," which
I heard about that.
Is-
Let's get to that. Let's get to that in our entertainment. news.
Okay,
Okay.
but it was just kind of.
I don't really like moving from the Queen and the Prince and royalty to I hit it first. I don't know, that's not a segue.
Well, I mean,
Well,
it does
maybe
segue.
Maybe it is a
you know,
segue.
it does
in a
segue
roundabout
in
way,
some
but-
way.
It-
But
Alright.
anyway, so yeah, that and that's what I thought too, guys. Saibuki and other Brits online, or just other smart people in general, is that I thought because also that Charles was already with Diana, and everybody knows their relationship was rocky, even when they tried to act like it wasn't.
Right.
And because she died, of course, that technically Camilla couldn't be queen.
Well,
for
she
that
was never
reason
going to be
either.
queen.
Right, but for bloodline reasons. But also, I just thought because of the
Yeah. But if Charles was still married to Diana, she was never going to be queen. She's given another title, and that's what I want from Saibuki.
What would
What
be
the
the-
hell is the name of the title
what would be
that
the
they
title?
give her?
Would be
Yeah,
like what, a
she wouldn't
baroness?
be
or-
queen.
before that, she was
Diana.
the Duchess of Wales, right? Diana was the Duchess of
The
Wales.
Duchess of Wales.
That's what she was
Yes.
the whole time. But while
Yeah,
she was
but
alive,
when he becomes king, it becomes something else.
I don't know. She might still stay Duchess because
She
Prince
may.
Philip stayed Prince Philip. Prince Philip didn't become king.
Duchess of whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so she's a duchess. Is that what William's wife is now? Duchess?
Now we were saying that too. We think that she would become queen, right? Is there bloodline in William's wife and Kate? Saibuki,
I don't know.
Will Kate become queen when William does?
No,
She won't.
she will not. Remains like the prince. If Prince Philip, if that were true, Prince Philip would be known as King Philip.
There we go. Because and Saibuki both say no.
Right. I know. I watched the Royals.
You watch
I
it
grew
more than
up
I
on
do.
them.
I don't keep up.
I love the Royals. I think they're.
I kind of keep up more with the old Royals.
They
than the new
have
ones.
they have French blood in them.
Yeah.
They have all
Well, I know
sorts
that
of
from
blood.
Shakespeare. I mean,
Yeah.
Shakespeare wasn't all factual. He was writing a lot of fiction,
Yeah.
surrounded in fact.
But we
know, yeah. I mean,
and their bloodline is very strong from French. And if you look at their face,
well, there was the whole
face.
Well, there was the whole joining of the two back.
That's
with
correct.
The Plantagenets.
That's correct.
And the whole
you're not as
Henry.
stupid as you
Well,
look.
I know Shakespeare.
Okay.
I mean, I know Henry. You know, Queen Eleanor of Aquitaine. That whole thing. That's what the play Lion and Winter is based on.
Yeah.
Lion and Winter is about King Henry, I believe the IV, and his wife Queen Eleanor of Aquitaine, and that was the whole connection with Spain.
That's correct.
Because that's where I think it was Philip.
Right. It was Philip that wanted to
that's my
have
word.
both. It was all about having both kingdoms.
Right.
Yeah, you know.
Well, that's exactly what the play
Yeah,
is
that
about.
is.
That's what
It had
Shakespeare's,
nothing to do
plays,
with I'm in love
Henry
with
IV is
you
about.
and you do me well. It had nothing to do with that.
Right.
It had to do with power.
Right.
And being able to get now two countries
Oh,
together.
it was politics. I mean, they were just like making
Awful
politics.
way to
There's a
live.
lot of swindling. There's a lot of conniving. I mean, that was going on big time then. Of
And
course.
the other thing is, if you remember Henry VIII, who
Henry
married,
VIII.
that was like one of the first big, gigantic controversies with the king, besides everything else that went on in the past. But that was like a big historical marker where, you know, he divorced his first wife and then kills the second one.
Killed
And
a number of them.
The establishment of the...
Not just the second one.
yeah, it was the
Killed-
second one.
No, he killed
Well-
more than just one.
Well, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, yeah, he killed
Yeah.
them all. I'm Henry
Oh.
VIII, I am.
And actually, if I
Remember that?
and actually, if I'm right, since we do the
Winner next door.
since
He's been married 7 times
Times
before,
more.
Peter
and
Pan. Herman and the
everyone
Hermit.
was a Henry. Couldn't be a Willie or a Sam or a Sam. I'm
Herman
a
and the
great old
Hermit.
man, I'm Henry. Henry VIII,
Let
I am.
me tell you something about Herman's Hermits. Okay, this is back. I
pretty
swear to God,
shitty band in my opinion.
This is back in.
Dang.
Yeah, they
Before
were.
I moved, about 1985.
And they
I
just
moved
repeated
from
the same
they were
thing.
Playing in the local dive.
Right,
I mean, that's what they resorted to.
right.
That song didn't have much after that, right?
Nah, man.
All he did was sing the same thing over and over.
I never cared for their music. I haven't heard all their music and a lot of their albums, but I just the hits I heard I just never cared for. I don't like. Also, the Miss Robinson, you got a lovely daughter. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
That was a
Oh, God.
Hermit song.
No,
too.
they were all stupid songs.
Simon and Garfunkel.
No. The other one. I'm talking about the one that goes. I'm not talking. I'm not.
Brown, you got to love
Mrs. Brown. What did I say?
yourself.
Robinson? I said I meant Brown. Right. Miss Robinson was Simon. Mrs. Brown, you got to love her.
Well,
I'm
Anyway.
mixing up my misses.
there was some stupid bands in the 60s,
You
weren't
missed
there?
on your miss.
I missed on my.
Something that is on your miss.
That's right.
What,
So,
miss something?
but so back to the yeah. I mean, that's
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, the royal family always was shady and
Wacky,
scandalous.
yeah.
And, yeah. I mean, that's.
Oh, you mean when
They're all
George?
banging each
No, I
other.
mean,
on
look
that.
at the history
Yeah,
period. I mean, look at the history period.
Yeah, they were vicious too.
I mean,
I mean, they still kind of are, because that queen, I mean, I actually think the queen is beautiful. Like physically. She is one of the most beautiful old ladies you would ever see. She dresses up great. Her face is beautiful. When she was young, she was gorgeous. You know, beautiful. Like an Elizabeth Taylor look. But her personality, man, it's gotta go.
But you don't know- you don't
she's
know
so
her.
stoic.
but maybe she's only
I mean,
acting
come
like
on,
that
warm
when
up,
she's
Grandma.
out in the public. You know?
Don't you think?
That woman might have a
Even
great sense
Margaret
of
Thatcher
humor
was
at home.
softer.
Yeah, that's saying a lot.
Even Margaret Thatcher had more like
That's saying something because she was the Iron Lady.
yeah.
Yeah,
well,
but it's
yeah.
probably rusty. But now.
Well, no, it's on the way to rusting. She's still fresh to the ground.
Do you think that she and Ronald Reagan would remember each other in heaven? Ronald be
No,
like,
because I don't believe there's a heaven.
well,
So I don't think
See,
they're remembering
there you go.
anything. I just think they're.
I just
under the
started
ground.
something.
I just
I'm not
think
gonna
because
be
they both died of. Yeah, get him. Yeah,
But no,
They both died of what?
they both. Well, she died of a stroke, but she both suffered from dementia, just
Yeah,
as
they both
Yeah,
he
they were
had-
both
had,
demented.
Alzheimer's,
Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
I mean,
dementia, Alzheimer's. Yeah.
Well, I think they'll remember each other. They'll be like, I know you. Well,
I don't think they're talking.
Doing?
I don't think they're talking to each other.
oh, well, I'm just kidding. What the hell?
But it is
Going to another segue.
8:51. We're gonna go till about 9:10 or so before our break. because
Wait a
we
minute, I
started-
gotta go to the bathroom, so we'll
Go
go to
ahead.
9.
Oh, okay.
And
I
then
figured
let's
we go a
just
full hour.
let's do 11:30 today. Hey Ed, we're going to 11:30 today.
Cy Buki is pissed. He says the bitch is dead and talking about her could raise her. Please stop it now. Cy Buki, there has to
Sorry, Cy.
there already has to be somebody working on a script of a B movie about Margaret Thatcher being a zombie. That has to already be in the works.
You think
somewhere
so?
in the- yes. I guarantee within a year
And
or
if
two.
not, there's an idea for
I guarantee in a year or two, someone's going to cash in on this, and they're going to make a cheap B movie where Margaret Thatcher comes back as a zombie. It's in the
All right, now
guarantee.
what would you call it? That's zombie.
The dead ain't going nowhere.
the undead Iron Lady. What?
Well, no, we call it the zombie lady.
No, it's got to be more clever. It has to be. It has to be like sort of punny.
All right, well,
gotta
come
be.
up with some titles
It's
there,
got to be
folks.
something like
We leave it to you. Come up with a title for that zombie movie
with Margaret Thatcher.
starring Margaret Thatcher. And she eats away
mean-
at the economy.
I mean, there are good movies that handle that sort of situation. Like, for example, well, it's slight situation. There's a great movie called Bubba Hotep. Have you ever seen it?
Uh-uh.
Bubba Hotep with Bruce Campbell from Evil Dead fame.
Horror Hotel? What's the name?
It's called Bubba Hotep.
No.
It's about these two guys in a nursing home, Ossie Davis and Bruce Campbell. Well, Bruce Campbell says he's Elvis Presley. He's
Oh,
Elvis.
shit, this is
Ossie
fun.
Davis is JFK. They're both in a nursing home. They claim that neither of them are dead, that they're old and they're in a nursing home. Well, somebody conjures up a mummy, Bubba Hotep, a redneck mummy,
Yeah.
and they basically have to fight him. So it's like they team up to fight Bubba Hotep. It's a great movie. It's a
I gotta
well-done-
find it.
I've got it on VHS. I don't have it on DVD.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. That's a good little gem
Ossie
that came
Davis,
out.
yeah.
And it's called Bubba Hotep. It's very, of course, tongue-in-cheek, black humor. But
I love that.
It's Bruce Campbell and Ossie Davis are these two guys in a nursing home. And Bruce Campbell's running around in his Elvis jumpsuit with his Elvis glasses and his pompadour. He's going around telling everybody he's Elvis. Ossie Davis looks nothing like JFK, but he's a black guy in a wheelchair in his suit, and he's telling everybody he's JFK. And they team up to fight Bubba Hotep. This
Who
mummy.
directed this?
It's a guy with like a Spanish name. It's like Joseph.
Spike Lee.
No, it's like
No.
Joseph Caravaola. Look it up on IMDb. It's like his last name's like Caravalucci, or he's Italian or something.
Yeah.
Spanish. Caravola. But it's a good movie. It's really cleverly done. But of course, Bruce Campbell does pretty good stuff too.
Yeah.
Anything he's involved in, you know what you're getting.
And
but
you know
he's
Ossie Davis was a great
Ozzie
actor.
Ozzie Davis is a powerhouse actor.
Oh, my God.
Bruce
What a
Campbell-
great actor.
Bruce Campbell's not necessarily the stature of Ossie Davis in acting,
Yeah.
but Bruce Campbell's good at what he does. He's good at being the king of those B movies, and is able to act pretty damn well in those type of movies. But check it out, Bubba Hotep. It's a great movie.
Well, you know Ossie Davis, when I used to
Came out in
watch
the
him in
late
different
90s,
movies, he always was like right into that character, and I never saw him as Ossie Davis.
Right.
You know how some people start typecasted?
Yes.
And it's like, you know,
Yeah.
the same problem I had with Frank Sinatra. Every time I looked at Frank Sinatra, it's like, that's Frank Sinatra. That's not
Yeah,
the guy that he's playing.
Well, we disagreed on that because I think Sinatra was a good actor.
He was,
think
but
for singers
his
turned actor, he was a
persona
good
was
actor.
too strong. It was the same thing that happened with Fred Gwynn. He was very typecasted. Every time I looked at Fred Gwynn, it was hard for me to believe
Anybody else?
that he's anybody else, right? And that's what it was. Just with Sinatra, actually, yeah, really, and Sammy Davis Jr. too. You know,
The other Sammy Davis Jr.
the other
yeah.
Sammy
Not
Davis.
Macon, Georgia, Sammy
Yeah.
Davis Jr.
That's funny that we have two Sammy Davis.
Well,
Jr.'s
we've talked about that on the show. Macon has a lot of doppelgangers as far as names with famous people.
Yes,
I mean, it's out
I
there.
back when I was
We
a
don't
Cub
have any
Scout, I
Uncle
had,
John,
I knew
though.
a guy named Michael Jackson.
Well, I have a
Back,
friend named Kenny Rogers.
and I had a
Stole the
coworker,
hummingbird.
and I had a coworker when I first started working at
No.
Fox. When I started working at
What's
Fox
the-
24, there was I knew a sportscast. His name was Michael Jordan. You know, a white guy named
Yeah,
Michael
yeah.
Jordan.
He used to be co-owner of Hummingbird before Tim came in.
Yeah, I had a friend
He was
named
the one
Michael
arrested,
Jackson.
remember? He was arrested for coke. Yeah.
Yeah,
He was a member of my church,
He seems good.
and he was skinny like Michael Jackson and everything. And he tried to dance like him, but you know, we did a fundraiser. Eugene, you remember it was Michael Jackson that was in our ministry back in Queens. DJ Mean. All right, I gotta run to the bathroom. We got 4 minutes.
Bean, he
Yeah.
was great in
My
My
Cousin
Cousin Vinny.
Vinny.
Filmed right around here in Central Georgia.
yeah. I think that was his last movie he made before he passed away. I think. Yes.
What the hell does Aunt Jemima mean? Aunt Jemima says Aunt's clearly not comfortable.
The TMR. Oh, the Timor Rose Brewers ain't dummies. Aunt is clearly not comfortable. Forget about it. And we all have bad days. Dig it.
What the hell is he talking
Huh?
about? I don't get it.
He's not comfortable.
Elaborate.
No, he's probably saying you don't look comfortable. Anthony's comfortable.
How do I not?
I mean, well, you know how many fights we've had in the past,
Yeah.
and it's they're all
no, but
bullshit.
Aunt Jemima, I don't even know who the hell Aunt Jemima wasn't here
It says
yesterday.
Aunt hug Irv from yesterday. Walk off.
Oh, and
No,
Hugger,
No,
yeah.
Irv and I didn't argue yesterday.
No.
It was Ed and I that argued. Irv and Derek and I never argued. It was Ed and I.
Yeah, but I'm glad that you're at
What the
least
hell is he
voicing
talking
that, Aunt Jemima.
Answer
Walk
plays-
off set. Oh, she's getting on you here. Or he.
Aunt Jemima just wants to get rid of me.
Yeah, exactly. Answer placement.
Aunt Jemima must be Chris Payne. Chris Payne's trying to get his seat back.
Yeah, he's trying to get his seat
That's it.
back.
Aunt Jemima's Chris
That's
Payne.
funny.
Yeah.
All right, with that accent and him being Aunt Jemima, it'll be hysterical. That's it. Henry or Sam. And this is all they sing over and over. You know, you would think that they were going to.
It's about a minute and a half song.
I never liked the song. It just annoyed the hell out of me.
I've been married. Why couldn't you say,
Back to our program.
I'm Henry VIII, I am. I had lunch with a can of Spam.
Oh.
It was something.
Okay.
Irv, have you thought about maybe becoming a rapper?
Yes.
Dude, with that look and your voice, man, you'd blow side right
I'd
up.
be rapping
All right.
people with my rap.
Mean Gene.
Irv,
Well,
the
he-
rapper.
Well, he is from New York. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's
Put
true.
a lot of gold chains around your neck.
Well, I got
Wear a Kangol.
I got
Turn that hat into an actual Kangol. Get a
Yeah, I'll
Kangol.
do that.
But no, okay. DJ Mean Gene explained it better. Why we didn't get what was going on. Go back up a little bit, Derek. He says go further up. They wanted Ant and Irv to kiss. Oh hell no, that's not happening.
No, I don't think so.
That explains it.
Oh man.
You know. Anyway, Aunt Jemima, Erbman River. That. Oh, yeah, she put that up yesterday.
Birdman River, that
Oh,
Birdman River, he
He
must
does
know
feel
something. Ain't should have hugged him. He just kept jawing.
Paul
he keeps
Robeson.
on rolling along.
Paul Robeson played that part.
Rick Knight,
Yeah.
Gary Thigpen,
That was good.
Yeah.
Paul Robeson played that part.
Yeah, Paul Robeson. And he was another one, like a black guy who had a lot of women.
And that was from Showboat, I believe.
Yeah.
Irv,
But no.
where's that from?
That was from.
Porgy and Bess.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, it was Showboat.
No, it was Showboat.
It was Showboat.
Not only that, Paul Robeson was Phi Beta Beta Kappa guy. He was an honor student.
Summertime was Porgy and Bess.
Yeah.
Summertime.
That's a great song.
That's from.
That's an Porgy and Bess.
That
is Old Man River Showboat.
Yeah. By the way, that Porky and Bess, I mean, you could tell it's dated and all that. And you could tell that it's from a perspective of two Jewish guys.
Yeah.
The way it's written.
You're right.
I swear to you.
Those damn Jews.
Yeah, and they you know, because they use the word damn.
Yeah, you're so PC, man. I love it, man. Yeah.
I refuse to be anything but.
He's so yeah. I'm politically incorrect.
There you go.
Oh,
Hey, we're all friends here. If you can't say whatever you want to say, then what can you
It's
do?
9 o'clock. I have to take a dump. We'll be back.
Oh, geez,
TMI.
Listen, we're open with our audience. You see how we are. You see the fights. You hear the fight.
And you say I'm politically incorrect.
Yeah.
After that comment.
Well,
Jeez.
you know, there's a lot of crap going on around here.
That's
what can
true.
I say?
We are in crap.
Well,
And,
yeah, it was pissed off that fertilizer explosion. See,
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, speaking of fertilizer, that's what I'm going to do. Go fertilize. By the way, Anthony, that was funny. We're putting the AC on there. I just want to say.
No, you guys did
made
that.
the
Don't do
day.
that shit again now.
Yeah, I know.
Get that crap
Yeah.
off my side.
You see, now you
You're
have
just
enough
gonna have to
fun.
get a bigger damn table, see, you know.
Yeah, we're gonna get a bigger
for
table.
your ego to
Yeah,
place.
we should.
Yes.
That's a good one. What we should do
That's a
now
great
we should
one.
go to the extreme. We
Yeah.
should go to the extreme. When we get the big table, we should make it too big. We
Yeah.
should get like this 3
And we're
times
like,
over,
okay.
so it's curving around like
For
this.
firing a Macon police officer.
That's all right. Go with it. We'll be
He's throwing a
back.
video on
It's
him.
all right. We're on break. He's telling us.
Is
Shut
it
the hell up,
Let's go
guys.
to break. We'll be back.
9:01.
60 degrees in Macon with a high of 84, low 65. You're watching the Morning Roast on Vaughn Live.
Yeah, baby.
Hello.
Well, FBI agents have their hands full with the investigation of Monday's bombing in Boston. WGXA's Kristen Bourgeois met with the GBI bomb expert to find out how their federal counterparts deconstruct a bombing like Boston's marathon.
From the moment the devices exploded, Massachusetts Governor Deval Patrick made it clear.
This is an active investigation.
An investigation that may take longer than anyone might hope.
Days, months, and even years, unfortunately.
GBI bomb technician Craig Rodder trains bomb experts at the Georgia Public Training Center in Forsyth. He says the investigation is not much different from what bomb squads across the country do every day. And while Boston's explosion is on a larger scale and has the national media's attention, the process stays the same.
From this point on, investigation is putting the pieces back together.
Agents are using their years of training and expertise scanning every square inch of the bomb site to distinguish between explosives and blast debris. Their end goal is to reassemble the device as best they can.
Tracking down the components, who the manufacturer was, who sold the type of product that it may have been, and then going from there.
The bombs are believed to have been housed in a pressure cooker hidden inside a backpack. The explosive, loaded with nails, BBs, and ball bearings to maximize injuries.
This is kind of unique to the United States.
But widely popular in South and Middle East Asia. So despite their knowledge,
If people have information, please use those tip lines.
tips FBI agents are using, no matter how insignificant one may think.
You get 3 people that call in with the same information, then it turns into a significant tip.
Other news, a Middle Georgia fugitive wanted for firing a Macon police officer last year is behind bars in West Virginia tonight. WCHS, WGXA's affiliate in Charleston, is reporting that 21-year-old Rashad Williams was taken into custody by U.S. Marshals early this morning. Williams is wanted for the December shooting at 3061 Montpelier Avenue as officers answered an armed robbery call. Macon police say when Williams saw detectives, he opened fire on them, and then detectives returned fire and gave chase. Williams is being held in the area jail pending extradition back to Georgia. It's been a day of developments out of Boston. We're learning authorities may have identified a suspect in connection to Monday's pair of bombings at the Boston Marathon. Tori Dunning is reporting for WGXA, and she's in Boston tonight with more of where the investigation stands.
Massachusetts Governor Deval Patrick says the investigation into Monday's bombings is going to take time.
They are doing this in a very methodical way, very thorough way. It's several blocks over there that they're covering square inch at a time and piecing the story together and I think making progress.
Surveillance video and news footage may show a person authorities say could be a suspect. Another break came when investigators searching a roof recovered a pressure cooker lid, possibly used in the attack. It will be added to evidence already collected, much of which has come from those who witnessed the blast. Countless pictures, all documenting the moments of terror and heroism. This veteran EMT saw the carnage firsthand.
It was the city's worst day and our department's best day, I think.
Some 180 people were injured. 3 died. 8-year-old Martin Richard, 29-year-old Crystal Campbell, and Boston University grad student Lindsay Liu. As the survivors' physical injuries begin to heal, the emotional damage suffered Monday is becoming more apparent in the form of post-traumatic stress disorder.
It's something that can be with these patients forever.
Speaking before a group of wounded warriors gathered for an annual bike rally, President Obama said they will serve as an inspiration for the Boston victims.
Now we send our support and encouragement to people who never expected that they'd need it. The wounded civilians who are just beginning what will be, I'm sure, for some of them, a long road to recovery.
This investigation is ongoing, so tomorrow it continues, but the attention also turns to an interfaith vigil President Obama and the First Lady will attend here in Boston. We're live. I'm Tori Dunnan reporting. Now back to you.
Okay, now I gotta go to a picture here that I just got from City Ball.
Do we need a warning or a disclaimer?
No, this is not a warning. This is pictures that they got of 2 possible suspects.
Right.
You look at the pictures.
I saw this on the news.
Yep. You see one the backpack, and then all of a sudden he got the backpack.
Yeah. But the guys are not very clear. That guy, well, I haven't seen that guy. The guy with the white hat is the one I saw. The guy, and now look, they look like what? Not the profile, but what do they look like, guys?
Middle Eastern.
Yes.
One place says
not the profile. They don't look like domestic terrorism.
Is this true?
Do they?
No.
That's.
Vorpal says the Army pulled its marathon runners from the race just minutes before the explosion.
Oh, come on. Okay, Vorpal.
Is he starting shit or?
No, he's entitled to his opinion, but the thing about it, when you just throw shit out like that, if it is true, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck's that mean? It wouldn't even mean anything if you said the FBI pulled a couple of their agents out of the run. I mean, okay, people pull people out of the run, but you know what? Kroger might have pulled a couple of their bag boys out of the run. You know, I mean, that's just such a vague freaking thing to say when you're talking about a big-ass marathon, one of the biggest in the world and one of the most popular and famous, the Boston Marathon. When you start saying they pulled people out, so automatically it's got to be a conspiracy. Because, hey, they pulled a couple of policemen out, or military. I mean, come on. That's just such a blanket statement, Vorpal Bite.
Why did the police dogs miss 2 bombs?
Well,
if anything,
Vorpal Bite.
Reason.
Why wasn't the girl from Centerville, Georgia that was up there racing, why wasn't she injured? I mean, your excuse is, why were no police officers injured? Well, why the hell wasn't 98% of the other people not injured? I mean, that's again a blanket statement. I mean, you're pulling out particular occupations that happen to be government related, but that doesn't tell you anything.
And plus, like I said, the bombs were made out of pressure cookers from pots and pans. I mean, dogs aren't trained for that, to look for pots and pans.
On this show beforehand, we thought maybe it was placed in the garbage. Now we're learning it wasn't placed in the garbage. It was a backpack just dropped off.
Just some backpacks.
Which then explains a little more
pressure cookers.
Which explains a little more why then maybe the police didn't find anything in advance, and maybe they did scour and check the garbage.
It was a duffel bag.
So we know that. We correct that on this show. That being said, you know what day and age we're in. If I was law enforcement and running law enforcement, I would even be very, very leery, and I would be telling my troops, hey, you need to check people with backpacks as well.
Yeah.
Coming in or walking by or whatever.
DJ Mean says the real issue is when politicians use personal tragedy to screw public opinion or force down agendas using the one who are grieving and suffering as props. Wow.
Yeah, would you say that? You seen it?
I forgot.
Oh, okay. But I was just reading.
How could you forget? Wasn't it important?
Yeah.
CD Bum says the only reason
not that important. Remember it.
The only reason the feds haven't said who they're looking for yet is because they're looking for international terrorists. If it was a crazy white guy, they would post his pic in the media.
And that right there would have been an opportune time for Ed to flash my mugshot up there.
Yeah,
right after he read that.
Hey Ed, how come we look like?
The thing is that okay? Now we got
you're not our heads are flat.
Crazy white guy.
Now we got another killing.
Yeah, don't we look kind of weird? Like our heads are flat.
Your head is flatter.
Yeah. You know, just like the Earth was flat at one time, everybody thought your head is flat.
That's the high def.
I look like the kid from
flat because you look
Family
through
Guy.
the horizon, but that's a whole other. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I give up.
Go ahead.
No.
Anyway, car flames are not airtight, and neither is most welding I have ever done. I guess that's what Sabuki's saying.
Car frames are not airtight. Yeah. Sabuki says pressure cookers are airtight. That's why dogs found nothing. That's what. Yeah, because they're sealed.
And do they know for sure it's pressure cookers? Or they just
they have the cover.
They have the actual
pop.
Yeah, they have the pop.
So
by the way, DJ Mean says between Boston, the Ricin in D.C., the Texas fertilizer incident, remember 9/11? The whole creation of DHS.
Let me ask.
And Eugene, let me just say, I'm surprised he's saying this.
Right.
Well, it looks like DHS failed anyway, so.
Well, the government
They
fails.
stopped the bombs from going
Surprise!
off.
I mean,
They,
like the government doesn't fail all the time. I mean.
So what are they going to outlaw now? Pressure cookers?
Yeah.
They voted against.
Well,
the
somebody posted a good little.
So that means will you talking about a gun ban? Does that mean they're going to ban pressure cookers now? We can't make pot roast anymore.
No, that means any psycho can get a gun.
Well,
they got to ban fertilizer.
Somebody posted.
I mean, we can't grow food anymore now. We can't grow vegetables.
Oh, there's other
I
ways.
can stab you with a carrot.
Somebody posted.
They can irradiate it.
Was it you, Ed? This morning I saw someone posted one of those memes. It had a picture. It was split screen picture. The top one had the picture from the Marathon bombing. Bottom one had the kids being let out of the school, the Sandy Hook school, and it said something like, "We don't blame the bomber." What was the wording?
Yeah, we
don't pull that up. We don't blame the bomber or the bomb for the bomber. So why should we blame the shooter or the gun for the shooting?
Yeah.
It was short and sweet, and I of course bastardized it and destroyed it in my explanation, but of course I didn't write it down or anything.
Well, CD Bum added on, he says it was pressure cookers with portable batteries that were activated by cell phone detonators, typical of brown terrorists.
Wow.
Because they're really big in Southeast Asia and South Asia. Like
but City Bum,
India and
and
Pakistan.
again, you might be keeping up more than I am with this because I have not kept up with it religiously. But do they know it was activated by cell phone? Do they know that for a fact? I mean, is that your speculation? I mean, have they come out that this was basically sort of radio transmitted? In other words, is the way they did bring it up. Okay.
Well, what's weird about all this is how much, even like everybody thinks this is all like a conspiracy with the government. How many people believe that?
I don't think this is. This is another one where I don't think it's a conspiracy. I think it was either, and now I guess I'm being proven wrong if these pictures are correct. We don't know if they are.
Yeah.
I thought it was either a lone domestic guy, or maybe a couple of domestic guys. You know, like they said, the Oklahoma City bombing was. You know.
Yeah, at first they thought they were Middle Easterners too, but then they found out it was just Timothy McVeigh and a couple of good old boys.
Either way, I think it's terrorist. And yes, government can be considered a form of terrorist. I agree. But I think in this case, it's terrorists outside of our government.
Yeah. The IRA did admit to bombings when they did them, but
because they were proud of them. I mean, they were damn proud.
Not only that, but they were trying to get their agenda out there.
It was a badge of honor to them.
The Al Qaeda and all these people, everybody knows their agenda already. And so,
Forpomai says Anthony's like talking to a child.
I got this one for Sabuki. Here's you can have him back.
Yeah, what back?
Oh, it's delayed. It's delayed.
Oh, okay.
We don't get it as quick. You have to count like 20 seconds before.
Yes,
yeah.
He says at least
because then
we still don't have
There we go. You don't need to have a movement to deport me. If these laws do not pass, I'll deport myself. Piers Morgan, CNN. Good. Now get the fuck out of my country.
Jeez.
For fuck's sake.
Saibuki, do you like that guy, Piers Morgan?
No.
Well, come on. The man hates the Beatles. Like, come on, man. Like, jeez. I'm not saying that the Beatles are kinfolk or something. I mean, or
hey, let's
like every British person knew the Beatles were Rolling Stones.
First manned aircraft to Mars.
Yeah.
Let's do what?
Put him on the first manned spacecraft.
No way you
I
can
actually
keep
would
him.
want to be.
I leave him alone. He gets right to the point.
I would actually like to.
I like him because he gets right to the point. He tells people straight up, look, boo, I mean, he's not Larry King.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah,
because Piers Morgan ain't been married 17 times.
No, I'm serious. He gets right in their face.
That's Alien.
Set him up in a...
That was the third Alien movie.
Yeah, send him up in the space.
Third Alien movie, a bunch of prisoners up in
space
space.
and
That's right, a prison colony, a penal colony in space.
Oh, speaking of prison,
that's what they know. That's what they need to put Manson in there because that dude should have been dead a long time. Come on, man.
That's not true. He gives him a chance.
Dude been getting 3 cots in the cot for 40 years, man. Come on.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a lot of wheeling and dealing with the money side of that is one reason they keep Manson alive.
Well, I like Pierce Bronson, whatever his name is.
I got a real important one.
What the hell?
You got a wing dang doodle?
What the hell? We got 15 conversations. What are you saying, Irvin?
This has to do with the corruption.
Oh, okay.
For local or international? Local?
Georgia.
Okay.
Well, you want to...
U.S. District Attorney Michael Moore dropped a bombshell this afternoon announcing the indictments of 8 guards at Macon State Prison. WGXA's Clinton Bourgeois joins us live in the studio with the details. Clinton?
Tiffany Raymond, the Department of Justice handed down this 32-page indictment charging 8 current or former Macon State prison officers, including a deputy warden, in conspiracy to assault inmates. The incident dates back to 2010, involving 4 different inmates. The 8 officers were members of CERT, the Correctional Emergency Response Team. The indictment says the officers conspired to retaliate against inmates for prior misconduct, including assaulting officers. The officers also face obstruction charges for providing false and misleading information about the assaults. U.S. Attorney Michael Moore weighs in.
One of the most important things I think that we do is have a vigorous civil rights enforcement program. And that is to make sure that the civil rights of all people are protected, no matter what their status, but that the constitutional rights are protected.
3 former CERT members previously entered guilty pleas in related cases before U.S. District Attorney Judge Mark T. Treadwell. The defendants face maximum sentences of 10 years for the civil rights conspiracy charge, 10 years for civil rights violation, and 20 years for each count of obstruction. Live in studio, Clinton Bourgeois, WGXA.
That's what I experienced.
More corruption is starting to surface.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
That's going on for years.
I said that already for a year and a half.
Yeah.
It was the inmates that were doing the, they should look at the LEC. It was the inmates that were doing the disciplining. They had one gang leader that was in charge of that cell block, and nobody crossed that guy. Nobody. Because the guards would protect them. That's happening right here in Macon, Georgia. So it doesn't surprise me.
It's been happening for decades. It has.
You know? They have one guy.
Imagine the big prison systems like in L.A.
Yeah.
Or, in California and New York.
I gotta say the story because I think you'll appreciate it.
But you know Attica had a big time.
Oh, yeah. Well, they all had it. But I'll be brief on this story. But I had, when I first got there, I had no concept of time. You know, you lose track of what time it is.
Yeah.
So I was getting up my normal time, which was 7 a.m. And it was right after we had breakfast at 5 a.m.
Right.
So we had breakfast at 5. I would eat and go right back to sleep, wake up, and I wasn't sure what time it was. So I would start singing and bullshitting or whatever. Next thing you know, I'm getting inmates in my freaking cell beating the shit out of me, right? Mm-hmm. Well, there was one particular inmate, and he was a white boy, right? Mm-hmm. And Patrick. And this kid had the most gorgeous freaking room of all of them. His cell was literally like a confinement cell, But you went in there, he had
Well, how did
his
you know
name
that?
all over.
No, now how were you able to see it?
Huh?
How were you able to see
Because he
his
was
cell?
always, no, he had a little hole, but his door was always open.
Oh, so you'd walk by and see
He'd
it.
walk in and out, the
Okay.
inmates walk in and out of each other's cells.
Right.
And so this guy had his name like tattooed on the wall. I mean, everywhere, like stenciled. Unbelievable. So I knew he was a gang leader.
Yeah.
So then he would slap me around. He beat the hell out of me. He had other inmates come in.
How old was this guy?
So, he's about 22, somewhere in there. Blue eyes, good-looking kid. Oh, so, and then he had a friend. His friend had a big tattoo of the cross on the back, a beautiful-looking Nubian black guy. So could you imagine what that looked like? You had a white guy and a black guy that were both good-looking. Everybody was afraid of them. Well, what I did was that he was beating the hell out of me and all that. Finally, I went into his cell and I destroyed everything in his room. Okay? And
So Irvin fought back.
and I fought back every day. I was a son of a bitch.
You're supposed
deal
to
with.
do that.
And believe it or not, I have to confess, I took his cross that he used to like to walk around in. I took his white cross. I just stole it. And then the guard asked me, "Did you do this, Irv?" And I said, "Yeah, I did." And he goes, "All right, well." And because he knew that I was being abused and taken out like an animal on 4 legs like this. They carried me like this and threw me on the ground and beat and kicked me and did all sorts of stuff. And it was that gang leader that was in charge of disciplining me. I would tell the guards completely ignored me. You know, they don't care. They do not care. It's inhumane what's going on in these jailhouses. And it's no excuse. You know what they say? They're a bunch of felons. They deserve what they get.
Right.
No, that's not true.
Right.
Especially in Macon.
Well, also, I mean, let's face it. The people that run those jails, and the caveat will come out first.
Yeah.
I've never been in jail for any longer than
2 hours.
No, 8 hours. My longest I was ever in was 8 hours, and not counting this last
Shoot,
time.
I spent 10
in the
hours
early
in the
90s,
holding
I
cell.
was in a drunk tank for about 8 hours when I was arrested for disorderly conduct, and then of course my recent one I was in there for like 7 hours. But anyway, so I'm not talking from experience, but talking from knowing people and talking to people like you and other people that have been in jail and spent time in there, a little bit of time at least. Of course the guards.
Right.
And the warden, of course, they want to go and make it as easy on them as possible.
Yeah.
They don't want to have to police the inmates.
Right.
They want to let them run loose in there.
Well,
they want to
Vogelbach
sit
has
there,
a-
come to work, get their paycheck, sit behind their desk, eat their donuts, and drink their
Yeah.
coffee, joke around, blah blah blah, have a good time, go home, and come back and do it the next day. They don't give a shit about the people inside there.
No.
Now, in a sense, and some people might not like this, Vogelbach will agree with this. I think. We'll
Yeah,
agree.
he said jail is supposed to
That's
be
what I'm about to
unpleasant.
say. I agree with that. I agree, Vogelbach. I don't think these guys locked up, for real crimes, and there's a difference, Vogelbach. I don't think the guys locked up and girls that have done shit should be getting a fucking Bahamas vacation.
Yeah,
You're right.
Compared
But-
to that story recently about the prison somewhere nearby.
Yeah, but this
they had
guy
the
was
drinking,
getting it.
They were able
Right.
to get alcohol
Right.
and all that stuff.
I agree, Vogelbach. But when you start mixing in people who have done things like freedom of speech, which is what Irvin basically got locked up for, being out there loud, saying his beliefs, being a free
I was
human,
protesting.
then that's a little different because when you start mixing those people into the general population of murderers, pedophile, rapists,
ADD,
just the
mental
bad
illness.
people. I'm talking about the bad crimes. Bad crimes, okay? Then there is a problem. There is a problem. I do think when they get people locked up, if you're going to lock them up at all, you need to have a separation.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this, Irvin. And this kind of surprises me. Because, and again, I've never been in there for any length of time. But they didn't separate you because of your health? Because of your HIV positive?
No, because
Because I thought they did that.
no. What happened was you have to request it.
And you just
you have
never
to
brought-
request
you
it.
never
In the
brought it
first
up.
round, I didn't request it.
Okay.
In the second round, I requested what they call
Because, see,
protective custody.
that's what the
But
first,
they didn't protect me. They still opened up my cell.
Well, that's what's ridiculous to me is on top of it, besides just the brutality, is that do they realize that if these people beat you and you start bleeding, you're getting HIV
Well, half of them
positive,
probably have it anyway.
HIV positive blood all over the
Half
place.
of those kids probably have it already.
Well, yeah, because like what,
Yeah,
'cause
you know.
people always like to blame.
But I thought they separated. I
the
thought
down
they-
low, the down low
yeah.
men. And
They
when
don't
usually
give a damn.
Black men can
Right.
get
And you know what?
HIV in prison and you can walk around free.
I used to tell the inmates, I used to just say, I have AIDS. I said, you guys continue to do this, I'm going to bite the hell out of you.
Spit at them. Yeah.
And, yeah. So they would leave me alone. But they did throw urine at me. And they threw all sorts of stuff. I was complete apples, like eating apples. They would throw them in my on my bed and all sorts of stuff. I mean, it was 14 days the first round of hell, and it was 18 days the second round of hell. But the second time, they already knew who I was. They already knew that I had been switched out from block to block because I was causing so much mayhem.
Yeah.
You understand? I was not an easy inmate to deal with. I would tell them right to their face, F you piece of crap, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And I would say, no wonder why you're in here. And I would tell them straight up, you deserve what you're getting. Your mother's probably sitting at home wondering why you're here.
Right.
And you're putting your mother through hell right now. And I would say things to these inmates, they start crying, dude. Next thing you know, they're attacking me.
Vorpelbite has a question.
It wasn't easy.
Vorpelbite says, good English, Vorpelbite. Vorpelbite says, why was you tossed in jail for?
Vorpelbite, you're a fat slob that can't even talk. Why was I thrown in jail?
I like how Vorpelbite
you
claims.
stupid
I like how
moron.
Vorpelbite claims.
He
none of
hasn't
us,
listened.
Well, no, I like how he claims or she claims none of us know what we're talking about and we're uneducated.
Yeah,
but yet this guy or girl has the worst English going.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
It
speaks for itself.
Look, you fat ass moron. This is why I went to
Vorpelbite's
jail.
laughing.
Freedom of speech. We just said it. I was protesting.
He
you
was
idiot.
protesting outside the Dempsey. Right?
Thank you.
Right, Irvin?
Yeah.
And then you moved to in front of the 567 church, right? And that's where you actually got arrested, correct? Was that
Right in my
you
church.
You were pulled from the church.
Correct.
Which is
that fat piggly wiggly.
And that's why they knew they had to have done something wrong. That Irvin wasn't just another guy crying, poor me, and because right after that, what did they do with the officer?
They
moved him.
Yeah,
completely.
They
moved
completely,
the guy.
and they dropped all the charges.
Yeah, they completely. So that shows that they knew the guy was in the wrong.
Yeah,
that's why I was kind of surprised Irv didn't pursue lawsuit, because I really think if you pursue a lawsuit in this case,
it's not late. It's 7 years. You can still pursue.
Well, I mean, I would
because
think that.
what I'm going to
Because
say is
the
second round that I went to jail was a nervous breakdown, which is in fact on record.
Right.
I put myself in the psych ward on the second time. I was completely discombobulated. So when I'm going to get that guy Crump that does Trayvon, I've already gave him a call. And if I can get $3.5 million, I'm going to give 2 of it away. I'm going to get 3.5.
You win it.
If
I thought you
win
said
it.
you had to pay $3 million to get
No,
the guy.
I have to pay $10,000, but I think this guy will pick it up for me. You have to have $10,000 retainer fee. But I think I can get this guy to do it for nothing.
I mean, because it even sounds in this case like the police force themselves realize the guy's wrong. It sounds like the police for themselves know the guy's wrong, and the judge and the judicial system, because if they're dropping all your charges, right, and then also moving this officer out of that precinct immediately afterward, they're showing guilt, is what they're showing.
Not only that, but then there's a
repercussion. Have to be strength for your lawsuit.
Yeah, there's a repercussion. They took away my gun rights. They literally, I went up to, it's in some park somewhere where they, I know where it is. It's in Atlanta. When I went up to qualify, to pay the money and qualify, I was there, and they have the Bill of Rights, and I went through that whole list, and they violated every single one of my civil rights. Every single one of them. I went down, they did that. I went down there. There's that one too. That one too. That one too. Every single one of my civil rights were violated. And I know for a fact I'm going to be talking to an attorney and saying, look, if you get me $3 million, you can have $1 million, right? I'll live off $1 million and I'll give away $1 million to my friends and family.
Yep, Vorbelbite, that's what it is. Vorbelbite says you were thrown in jail for protesting? Question mark. And then he asked, change your mind on that?
No, I'll do it again.
No, he's asking.
We just did it.
No, not that. He's saying, change your mind on, I thought you don't approve of guns. Vorbelbite says, Irv, I thought you don't approve of guns.
I don't approve of guns. Well, why are you bringing that up?
And then he says, change your mind on that?
What?
Manny says, if your crime you committed doesn't generate money for the system, you'll not spend too much time in there. That's true, Manny. LWR Adventures, how you doing, Low Register? You want to pay more? You can't put one officer to 200 inmates and expect results. Perhaps they should be returned to your neighborhood since you're so worried. Not saying that, LWR. It's just there is a difference between people being locked up for misdemeanors or even pointless shit, and you put them in there with, as I said, your murderers, your rapists, your pedophiles, you know.
All these people.
That's a big difference.
The maniacs that are on drugs.
That's a big difference. Big difference.
Well, anyway.
Donnie Curry, good morning.
Speaking of...
Denver Girl says one of my... Let me go back to that.
Oh, okay.
Shatters are going. I'm trying to get everybody equally. I hate just calling out like the same 3 names, which seems to always be side.
Gamer Girl, one of my best friends
Donnie Curry,
were in NATO 3, and he was arrested during the protest. He is being charged with conspiracy to cause terrorism.
See, since we're talking protest real quick, May 3rd is my court date for my protest at the Cherry Blossom.
I can vote.
I'm learning each day that I'm going to have a lot of people there supporting me. Everybody's asking me. They asked me at the last rally, when it was, they're going to show up. They asked me yesterday at the NAACP meeting that Irv and I went to concerning the next march we're having on May 11th.
Yeah.
So, I'm already going there, and I'm going in there with a good case. I'm going in there with a straightforward, aggressive attitude about it because I got a lot on my side. I mean, when you have a city councilman bail you out, that alone says something.
Yeah.
Okay?
It says a lot.
I mean, if a city councilman's bailing you out, there's definitely a divide.
Well, and not only that, with me, it was Al Tillman is the one that bailed me out. And he's a former NAACP director.
All right, phone call. Is it Donnie Curry? Let's go with it if it is.
Oh, before we go, Donnie, they took away my right to own a gun, even though I don't want a gun. And I was not a felon. That's way over.
Heather?
Yeah, I'm not a felon. It was misdemeanor. And so there's a big difference. But the reason why they took away my gun the second time that I went to jail was because I broke the guy's windshield who was harassing me upstairs and calling the police and the fire department on me for no reason other than I had a candle on in my bathroom and he thought I was starting a fire. And he called the police and the fire department. They show up at 3 o'clock in the morning while I'm praying in my house. And the police came in my house and they left. But they never arrested this guy for false reporting. So I was mad. And then the guy the next day is mocking me and smoking cigarettes, going like this and laughing at me. So I was livid. And I was already going through all the trauma of being in jail a month before. I hadn't gotten over it. And I went crazy. I grabbed a stick and I beat the hell out of his windshield. And that's and so because of the violence of it, because of the violence of that, they took away my gun rights.
Vorbelbite says, Anthony, you should get your probation just for that jacket you wore.
What jacket?
See, my pink jacket. But see, that's the thing about it. The jacket itself represents something that's completely would make them look hypocritical. The jacket was made, custom made by one of the biggest name making people.
Who supported Cherry Blossom.
One of the biggest movers and shakers of Macon, A.M. at Barnes. This guy was like loved, and he was a powerhouse in this city, and then he went bankrupt. But the thing about it is that's the irony in it too, is I'm wearing an actual jacket made by a big head honcho at one time in Macon, Georgia, and it's his custom-made cherry blossom jacket. Saibuki,
Well,
you said something about you disrupted, right here. You have no case, you were causing disturbance in a public venue. What's your
that's
defense?
funny, Ed.
Well, I'm not, Saibuki, I'm not going to let my defense out yet because my sister-in-law, which Derek knows, my sister-in-law, my coffee guy's wife, she's a lawyer, and she emailed me, and she's going to basically, she's asked me some questions, which I'm going to answer for, and she's going to look into it and tell me, what I might have to
It wasn't that
stand
bad
on.
for you to get arrested.
But the thing about
They
it
should have
is,
escorted you out of the park. That's it.
but see, and actually they gave me what I wanted. Little do they know, the arrest was brilliant. I wanted the arrest because had I not been arrested, it would have took a lot of fire out of our cause.
Yeah.
The arrest, actually, what they don't know,
Ignited.
they're so stupid in this town as far as the system and the politics and the police, which we keep saying, is the arrest actually was in my favor. And I knew that. I knew that would be that way. Because let's face it, look through history. When your big major protesters and rabble-rousers are arrested, it's a big moment.
Well,
You have to have that mark on your record, so to speak, right? Look at Malcolm X, right? Look at MLK. I mean, the history. Look at even Gandhi.
Yeah.
People get arrested. That's needed.
Lech Walesa.
If you didn't arrest me, then it would have just been like, this guy made a big stink, and it was in the news, and they let him go.
Well,
But once you flashed my picture up, once you gave me the opportunity to get a mugshot, and that's another reason I was smirking in it.
yeah.
Because I was proud of what I did, and I knew what I did was right. And also, I'm thinking the whole time, you dumbasses, you are just giving me fuel
Exactly.
for this fire. That's all you're doing.
By the way,
That's all you're
Manny,
doing.
a person that's not a felon and loses gun privilege, never heard of that one. It happens in Macon, Georgia, brother. Okay? They deny me my gun rights. And the reason is because they declared me mentally ill because of the fact that I would do such a thing. And the courts and the cops and everybody knows me. And so that in itself says it all. And they basically it's annoying the shit out of me.
That is the chatterbox.
I mean, I love Ed, but he brings it on. His timing is off.
No, that's
A lot of times his time. Well, his
That's the idea.
timing is on with the videos he puts on a lot of times.
Right.
But in the middle shit, his timing is off.
Yeah,
You're
his
right.
timing
You're
is
right.
off.
the idea.
I mean, here I am talking something serious, and you start chattering the box.
But see, Fluke, you're right. I am no Malcolm X, but we do have the same birthday.
Just remember, next time you expect the unexpected,
Expect it.
expect it.
And the thing about it is you think what I wore to the protest was funny. Wait till you see what I wear to court.
Oh,
Because
Jesus.
I've got a shirt designed that I'm designing right now to wear to court.
Oh, my Lord.
So you think the jacket was
Or as
funny?
you would say, ay, cabrón.
Wait for this.
Can
Hey, it's
I
my
go to the
freedom.
court?
It's my freedom.
Can I go to the court?
Everybody's going.
I'll make up a T-shirt.
Lightfoot, Daryl Jackson said they're going to go. I mean, that's the thing about it. You think my jacket was funny? I'm allowed to wear whatever I want, right? Freedom of speech, freedom of dress. Watch what shirt I wear. It's going to be fun.
I bet you it's
It's
gonna
going
be
to be fun.
I bet it's gonna be a wing dang.
It is.
Speaking of some ex-cons,
Yes, that's
yes.
a good segue.
That's
I have a story of a woman who kills 5 people for not accepting her friend requests on Facebook.
Now this is an Onion story. Come on.
No, it's not.
Is
It's
this a
actual
real story?
This
Did
is
you
actual
send this
story.
You know, this is well.
In
Is that
DeQuincy,
Onion?
Louisiana. No, it's not Onion.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so
Uh-oh.
it's real.
I like her last name.
LaShondra Harris from DeQuincy, Louisiana, was arrested and charged today in connection with 5 murders. Harris has been dubbed by police, no relation, as the Facebook friend request killer because at the scene of every murder, a card was left on the victim's body that showed the Facebook logo along with a section of the site where you can accept or deny an individual's friend request. Remember back in the day, talking about, will you be my friend? Will you like me? Check yes or no? Like, when did that happen? When did that stop?
Yeah.
Detective Paul Horner with the DeQuincy Police Department explained how Harris was finally apprehended. She is probably the worst serial killer in the history of serial killers. At every murder scene, she would leave a calling card on the bodies with scribbled words written on each one, such as, maybe next time you'll be my friend on Facebook, motherfucker. Or, who's got more friends on Facebook now, bitch? Horner said.
This
All
woman's
of the
crazy.
people who were
Yeah,
murdered,
thank you, shitty bum.
all of the people that were murdered lived in the same apartment building or were people that knew Harris personally. We then found a Facebook account belonging to Ms. Harris, and about the section in her About section, she specifically wrote the words, "If you don't accept my friend request, I will kill you."
Wow.
And that's why
You're gonna be my friend,
This is
do
why
or
this
die.
seems like a bullshit story because look how she's dressed in her mugshot.
Actually, that
She
was
looks like a cow.
that's a retraction from the story. They basically, it's been updated. They said that the person, the mugshot of that person of LaShonda Harris, that's not really LaShonda Harris,
Oh,
but
hell.
Michelle Allen.
Well, there you go, media. Way to screw it up again. They
Unbelievable.
put the wrong picture of a so-called serial killer up.
Mm-hmm.
If I was this woman, I would sue. And I'm not a sue-happy guy, but this girl here has now been shunned and scarred by her picture.
Are
being
you kidding
associated.
me? Is that true?
This is not
Oh,
her. This is not the serial killer, yet they put her picture with
They
it.
put the wrong person.
This woman
But-
in a cow outfit looks like she works at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
They put her, and this is not the right person. This woman.
Unfreaking
I mean,
believable.
the Macon Telegraph
Mm-hmm.
must have posted this. I mean, what the hell?
However, police say that Miss Michelle Allen from Ohio says she was arrested for causing traffic problems, chasing kids in her neighborhood, and not complying with police when they told her to return home.
I wish Ed had this so he could show the picture.
And said, I sent it
Did it
to, I
too?
sent it to him.
Ed, get in there, man. We want the viewers to see the picture of the no serial killer woman with the cow outfit on.
Well,
Yes, who was actually Michelle Allen, a
The
totally
non-serial killer, I should say, not
Yes.
the no serial killer.
Ohio police said while Allen was in court, she challenged people to suck her udders
what
during that
checkable?
cow suit.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at the chat. They're saying, one question. Hey, fellas, who kicked over your checkerboard?
Checkerboard.
What are you talking
What are you
about?
talking about?
And a guy named Rocco. And then a guy named Sigga who just arrived here like 2 minutes ago.
No, Sigga was on yesterday or 2 days
Oh, was he?
ago. I've seen Sigga.
And
before.
right away he has to tell me off. Like, Irv shoves a
Irv-
pistol.
Irv-
No. It's funny.
Okay,
I'm making a joke out of it.
Good.
He says, Irv shoves a pistol up his ass daily.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying. It's
guy-
stupid.
That guy's
You just
ready-
got
that
here,
guy-
you moron.
That guy's ready for Dave Chappelle's show.
Exactly.
I'm sure he would just do well on that.
Yeah, he's
comedy.
trying to be funny. Thank you,
I
man.
have a question, people that do that. Do you really
JJ.
do you really think you're funny or not? Because you know what, you're not.
You're not.
I mean, you got
Yeah.
like the worst sense of humor.
Yeah.
I would be embarrassed for you, not because of what you said, but just because of how you said it.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to look in the mirror and go, I'm not funny.
Yeah. And by the way, you can take my gun and shove it up your rear end too. I don't have a gun.
Right.
I will never have a gun. But I want the rights to own a gun. You know? And I got to look into that. City Bum says, Irv, just because you won't pass a background check for a gun, actually, I probably will. That whole background check thing is gone. It was defeated. So I could probably buy a gun out of a vending machine right now. Just because
I'm not concerned about my background check because I already own a gun or two.
Yeah, I mean, you
So
already
if I
own
wanna
a
go
gun, you're
buy
already
another one,
licensed.
I'll buy another one, but you know what? I'm not concerned about it because I've already got it.
Well, I don't care. I'm not going to own a gun. I'm not interested. So to me, it's not a big deal, but it is my right that was taken away. And it was put down on a paper with this judge whose lips were about as big as this thing, you know, like there. And he looked like he was something like from Pakistan somewhere. And he writes out, you know, and he writes no gun.
See, Fluke, we're not angry all the time. We're just passionate. If there's things that anger us, we want to get it out.
Yeah.
The thing about it is we don't think, and Rocco, because C. Fluke brings up
Whoa,
Rocco.
you ain't never seen Derek.
Yeah, Derek does get angry. Derek
Come on,
just
Derek.
Derek just needs a
Well, pay
reason. No, you can't.
Put my cable bill or something?
No. But the thing about it, C. Fluke and Rocco, is you have to be angry. When you're lethargic, when you're apathetic, when you just don't care, that's when they get away with the bullshit they're getting away with.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, You need people to be angry and to stir it up and to go out and fight for something.
Yeah, if not.
This is a good way, guys, if you don't mind, for us to segue into our Sammy stuff. You had a Sammy story.
Yeah.
We went to the NAACP meeting yesterday. Okay. This is the reason. We learned a lot yesterday, Irvin and I, and the few that went to this meeting, that, you know what, whether they act it and show it in the media, the city is kind of running scared about all this.
Yeah.
They are.
No doubt.
And the main reason is they're not shutting us up.
Right.
They're thinking each time they release something that shows in the favor of them, like the GBI results and David Cook's not going to do this, they think, okay, it's out, it's quiet, they're going to be done.
No.
What they don't understand is we're not going to shut up.
We're not.
Because the thing about it, I've said it, until they're gone, either by firing, voted out, thrown in jail, let go, or whatever, it won't stop.
It won't.
Or their time, because it's beyond. It's not only the Sammy Davis Jr. case. Complain, and then those people disappear after they realize they can't get anywhere because they're in an ADD society. The thing about it, we're the worst two people to have on this.
Oh my God!
Because we
have no clue.
We got all the time in the world. That's the point.
And I love doing it.
Yeah.
I love controversy. Jesus was the most controversial figure that ever lived.
We're off. Let's wait. It says loading.
Yeah, loading, yeah.
Oh. Let it load. It loads automatically.
Yeah, I'm not on it.
But it's really. But Gamer Girl says, go to the freezer and take a few breaths. The cold air will help you breathe better.
Open the windows, man. You guys really should. It's nice out. It's not cold in here. I mean, yeah, because Irvin, you're going to only get worse with that, man. You're going to only get worse with that cold and that cough. We were going good. We're if you're out there hearing us on the chat board, we'll be back. Technical difficulties.
I love that little lady dancing.
Run it again.
I'll put this back, Irvin. Don't worry.
All right, we're back.
All right, we were going hot and heavy there. We are back. Sorry about that. We have no control over stuff like that, and it happens. So back on topic. So basically, that's the point: is that we're not shutting up because we shouldn't shut up.
Never.
Because it's beyond the whole self-defense argument, whether he scratched him or not. It's beyond that. It's been beyond that for me from the beginning, personally, because Sutton has a horrible record regardless of what happened on December 21st. He should not be employed, period. Burns has shown repeatedly he doesn't know how to run a police department. He should be gone. Mayor Rickert has shown repeatedly he doesn't know how to run a city. He should be gone.
Yeah.
And that's the point of it. We're not going to stop because it's something bigger.
Yeah.
As Irvin said yesterday and before, Sammy Davis Jr. was just basically the symbol, the catalyst to get the big ball rolling.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
And
it's
I
the ball
did
rolling
say that,
to something so much further that it doesn't matter how many times you come back, review board, and go, Sutton was in his right to do what he did on December 24th. It doesn't matter because it's beyond that.
Yeah.
It's bigger than that.
Much bigger.
It's bigger than
and
that.
And the thing is, Eugene, you would agree. I'm sorry, bro. Eugene, you would agree with me. I mean, as big as this thing is, I came to the city, and you remember I told you, I came to the city to take the city over for God. Now, some people may say, well, you believe in God and you smoke cigarettes and you curse. Listen, God, if you knew Ezra, if you knew some of these prophets, those prophets used to curse like sailors. If you knew Peter used to curse like sailors. God didn't say, oh, you used the F word, you're going to go to hell.
There are a lot of people, there were a lot of prophets who were totally imperfect.
Radical.
I mean, Matthew was a tax collector.
Yeah.
David was a fornicator.
Yeah.
I mean, she took another man's wife.
Yeah, and Paul was a murderer.
Yeah, and Lazarus was dead. So, I mean, go figure. So
yeah, so just because you guys see me like this doesn't mean that God's not working in our lives. And he's using Anthony, he's using me, he's using Derek, he's using Ed. I'm telling you, to change a city. How many people could say that? How many people could say that? That we're actually changing a city that has been stuck on stupid for over 50 years. And now all of a sudden, it's happening.
There you go.
So you never know.
The child-friendly candidate. So that's the point. So back to it. So we go.
You're right, Donnie.
We had our big rally a couple of days ago outside City Hall,
Yeah.
Tuesday, before we went to City Hall. We talked about that a little bit yesterday's show. And basically, so when we were there, Miss Westbrook from the NAACP local chapter, she invited us to her meeting that she was having last night. Irvin and I showed up.
I couldn't even hear.
Yeah, but I filled Irvin in.
Yeah.
And basically we sat there, and it was basically the gist of the meeting was to talk about what we need to do to get ready for the May 11th march that we're doing from the Kroger,
Yes.
the Pinono Kroger where Sammy was shot, all the way to downtown the City Hall.
Yep.
This is it. Now, being you guys not from Macon or not familiar with Macon, it's a pretty good long walk.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good walk, but it's
about
gonna be good.
2.5, 3 miles.
It's a good walk. So
Yeah,
we're going to do that May
it is.
11th. And then I wanted to say this. I was honored because they were making a list of who they wanted to speak at City Hall. And, you know, people were shouting names out. And, of course, they were naming some of the local black ministers and pastors.
No, I want to talk, so I'm going to
finally-
ask her if I can. I don't care.
And finally, she looked at me. You know, I just sat there quietly and said, Mr. Harris, would you like to speak? And I just sat there kind of like, oh, really? And, you know, a few other people in the room said, yeah, I think we should have, you know,
A
white
mix,
person
a white
too,
guy.
not just a bunch of black people up there speaking.
Right.
You know,
Plus,
and
you got to have a Puerto Rican guy in
I
there.
thought
I'm sorry.
about it, and I said, you know, I said, sure, I'll come up with something. You know, I'll write
Yeah.
something to say.
I
And,
called her last night.
so-
I'm going to throw myself there and say, look, I did not hear
Right.
that you were throwing names out there. I feel that I should talk too, because I've been talking about this shit forever, and I'm the only guy that has experienced police abuse. I mean, if I don't talk,
let her know. Let her
yeah,
know.
I'm gonna let her
I mean,
know.
so
I have no shame.
That was my thing. That was kind of the way, and that's the way I see politics should work. That's why I'm not a fan of. I don't think you should ever go for office. I think people should come to you and ask you to.
Right,
like
and
it
that's
was set
okay.
up originally. These people that are all in it for the hungry, the ego, the money,
Yeah.
the look at
I'm
me,
not
or-
into
and
that. I'm
was
just saying I want to
but
speak.
that's exactly what my point was, is that I didn't put my hand up and go, hey, I would like to speak. I sat there just letting them pick who they were going to pick.
They
And I
asked
was,
you.
I was kind of surprised.
But
and
you've
honored
been
that they looked
talking
at-
now.
Well,
You've been
she
talking
said that.
now
She said you
forever.
were there from the beginning.
Yeah, both of us.
We were. Well, the show was.
Yeah.
But she just, in particular, said me because she was talking to me. She goes, you were there from the beginning.
Well, you're eloquent. You're better at
and
talking
so I've
than I
already
am.
started working on something I'm going to write. I'm writing a little bit down here and there. I'm going to put together a nice
Yeah.
little piece. And then when it's time to get down there at the City Hall, I'll go up there and I'll say my piece. And I got some wing dang doodles I'm going to throw in there that I'm not going to say before then. So I want to save
Yeah.
it for the freshness of the speech. But it's May 11th. Again, I appreciate you asking me to speak. That meant something a lot to me. And so back to it. So we learned a lot of other neat little things in this meeting.
yeah.
Okay, we've learned about a lot more cases of officer abuse.
Absolutely.
Not just, you know, with Sutton.
No.
So a lot more is coming up. We learned that D.A. Cook, the new district attorney, we learned that he begged them not to bring the NAACP into it and not to bring Mr. DuBois from the Atlanta chapter of the NAACP who
Okay.
came down. Behind doors.
State chapter, I think.
Yeah, state chapter. But he's out of Atlanta, I believe.
Yeah.
And basically, he asked them, please don't bring it to this level. So it shows us that they're scared.
Of course.
It shows us that they want to drop it. We've learned from inside people that know the mayor, that were at this meeting yesterday, that Rickard's worried big time
Of course he is.
about his reelection.
His whole reelection is gone.
He is realizing that, oh my God, all this shit I've been working to try to continue through consolidation might completely go out the window. And he should be worried because the guy has done nothing for the city.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Jack Ellis fan. I agree that in that camp too. I'm not for him either. But let's face it, Rickard has done nothing for this city.
Yeah.
Derek, what you
Speaking
got?
of the story. Well, it was basically an update of the story that you and Irv have.
Look at that picture of that guy. That looks like the biggest freaking racist punk.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, just his
Okay.
face.
He's talking about Sutton.
From Amy Lee Womack from
Do the title, do the headline.
Making
so they
the
know what you're
Telegraph.
saying.
Outcome of Davis shooting review expected to be released Thursday.
Today.
Findings of a panel that reviewed the December fatal shooting of a man outside the Pioneer Avenue Kroger are expected to be released to the public today. The Shooting Review Board, made up of 2 Macon residents, 4 Macon police officers,
Bullshit.
2 representatives from other law enforcement agencies, and Deputy Chief Henderson Carswell, met Wednesday morning, said Chris Floor, Macon mayoral spokesman. The 9-member panel included former Board of Regents member Connie Cater and retired Bibb County Solicitor Otis Scarsberry.
Bullshit selections.
The panel's meeting came almost 4 months after Macon police officer Clayton Sutton fatally shot Sammy Junebug Davis Jr. on December 21st, 2012.
Yeah.
Sutton had been called to the store after a woman complained that Davis had followed her, asking her for money. Macon police conducted an initial investigation. In January, newly elected District Attorney David Cook requested that the GBI conduct an independent probe. Cook announced the results of the investigation in March and ruled the shooting justified, saying Sutton was cut on his neck during his encounter with Davis and that the officer thought at that time that Davis had a knife. Yeah. Sutton returned to work last month pending the outcome of the shooting review and the police department's internal affairs investigation. The convening of the Shooting Review Board was delayed following Macon City Council's March 19th passage of a new ordinance revamping some Macon Police internal affairs procedures. The ordinance required a new internal affairs director to be assigned and new members of the Shooting Review Board to be selected.
Yeah.
Thank you, Derek.
Thank you. Let's put it this way. That report is.
We already know.
Yeah, we already know.
We already know the review.
They're gonna clear them again
because this was talked about at the NAACP meeting already yesterday, and I didn't go break it on the Morning Roast page last night like I could have. And again, we could have been the first media outlet in town to break it, but we're saying it now. And as far as I know, URAC checked for us on themacon.com.
Yeah.
As far as I know, they have yet to bring it out yet.
Yeah, that's correct.
So we are going to break it here first.
You think they're sitting there now? It's only 9:56.
Well, let's break it here first. They're not going to find anything wrong in what Sutton did.
Right.
We know that.
Now, I said it in City Hall when I made my spiel.
Well, we all know that.
Give me that little bag there.
What, the blue one?
Yeah, the blue one. There's something in here that I mentioned that, in fact, it looked like it. Oh, this ain't it. But it looks like it literally, the shape of the cut and everything associated with that scratch that he got on his neck. If you look at the picture, you will see the shape like this of a side view mirror. It's big and red, and then the scratch runs right through it. In fact, the report says that the police officer, Mr. Crutton there, Sutton, he fell up against the car when he shot Junebug. Because he stepped back, shot him, and I guess he fell off. Because if you look at the space where Junebug was shot, there's a little sidewalk area. And there's not much space between what was the bench and going on to where the parking lot is. So I think he tripped on that while he was shooting at Junebug. Junebug's coming at him. He probably stepped back, tripped, and he fell onto that car, hitting the side view mirror, and that's what that scratch is from.
And that's your opinion.
That's my opinion.
And I'm not going to vouch for that. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. I'm honest enough to say I don't know what happened. Well, you saw the picture. Yeah, I've seen the picture, and I questioned the cut thing because of other reasons, but I was not there to say what happened. But I do know this for a fact. The guy should not be a police officer, and he shouldn't have been a police officer before this happened. That's what I can't understand. These people don't get through their thick heads. Is that you're defending somebody when they shouldn't have even been on the job to begin with.
Yeah.
Okay? Let me put it this way, and this will probably shut all of you up because you won't have a reply. Yeah. You will not have a reply. Very simple. And Verbal Bite, this goes to you too.
Big time.
Okay?
And don't forget the people who talked about who basically had some. I'll say something after you.
Right. Well, let me. This is the easy way to shut you people up. Okay, but you're not going to want to hear it because it doesn't go with your argument.
Exactly.
Okay. You guys keep calling for the removal of President Barack Obama because he's incompetent, because of bad job. 2, you guys kept calling for the removal of Dollar Man because he's incompetent, not right for the job. You guys kept calling for the removal of Jack Ellis when he was mayor. Mm-hmm. Why? Because he's incompetent. So why all of a sudden are you okay with calling for the removal of, and Derek's going to love me for saying this, 3 guys with black blood in them, right?
Yeah.
But you don't want to call for the removal of a white redneck bully cop who is incompetent for the job.
And
you have no answer to
mayor
that.
who's also a white redneck Mason.
And the Chief Burns. You see where I'm going here? I don't hear anybody calling for the removal of incompetence on these guys, but you're quick to call for the removal of Jack Ellis, and this is local people, President Obama for national people, international people, and these other people I named. And that to me shows exactly your racist mentality. It shows it
like
clearly.
Vogelbite.
Vogelbite could be saying stuff to stir stuff. We don't even know if Vogelbite really is an Obama hater.
I know.
But he gives me the ammunition to pull this on him for the people that do believe that Obama should go. And this has come from a guy who's not an Obama supporter. I'm not even I'm an anarchist. But I'm being fair on this. I want fairness. If you're going to call for the removal of incompetent people in incompetent positions, then why aren't you doing this about Sutton? Why aren't you doing this about Burns? Why aren't you doing it about... Because you don't want to go after your good old boy redneck white buddies. Let's admit it. Let's admit the facts. Now I wait for any of your replies to explain.
Nobody's saying anything.
Because they know. That's a foolproof. That's a foolproof complaint that they can't deny.
I have some comments from the story I talked about.
It's true.
It says your blues. It says I am sorry for the Davis family's lost. It's hard to lose someone, especially like this. But if you had cared and thought as much about him when he was alive, maybe he would still be alive. You can't just jump an officer and inspect him to let you potentially kill him. What if Mr. Davis had taken Officer Sutton down and then attacked someone else? Would that scenario been acceptable? Again, I know MPD has its issues, but at the scene, they are the authority. Papa 10 says, how many times does it have to be ruled that Officer Sutton shot Junebug in self-defense? If the NAACP or any other organization, person, or group wants another ruling, let them pay all costs involved in the investigation. And Pro Patria says, maybe the report tomorrow will finally address the original reason for the confrontation. Davis apparently was suffering from inadequate medications and had been to the Kroger's before in this condition and caused trouble. It is Davis's caregivers who bear most of the responsibility for the senseless loss of life by permitting Davis to leave home in such a condition. Read more from the Macon.com something. But see, at least from what I've heard, Davis left on his own volition before.
Well, you know what kills me too is I like how everybody jumps on the results of the GBI as, and I'm going to use something I don't use here, as the God's word, as the 10 Commandments. Has anybody ever thought that this could have happened? And it doesn't give him a right either. And to me, I don't care what uniform you're wearing. You put your finger on me, it's eye for an eye. I don't give a shit what you are. What if Sutton did this before Sammy scratched him, if he scratched him? What if Sutton went, get away from me, boy? What if Sutton touched Sammy first? No one's saying that. No video shows it. Maybe it did show it. That's why the video's not been released.
Or it's just been erased.
We don't know that Sutton didn't touch Sammy first. Now do we?
No.
Now do we? If Sammy... So what is that?
And it looks like
anybody. If you're pushed and touched, do you fight back? And I don't care if it's a police officer, because you know what? Deep down, they're supposed to do what? Protect and serve.
Correct.
They are below us. They're below us.
Exactly.
They're not above us. Do you let someone below you put their finger on you? Do you let someone below you push you around?
And that's known as assault.
Okay? So I'm not saying Sutton did it. I wasn't there. But we don't know that he didn't do that. We don't know that Sutton did not go up to Sammy, and Sammy might have stood close to him, and Sutton might have go, back off, boy. Get away from me, boy. And then Sammy lunged at him. Because maybe Sammy was hot-headed. We don't know. Right?
Possibly, yeah.
Right? So don't tell me people on chat lines and Macon.com and whatever that hey, you know for a fact that Sammy attacked him first, because you don't know that.
No.
You don't know that.
Because that was been boggling my head, wrecking my brain for the last 4 months, because I'm like, no, normally a person's not going to lunge after, an unarmed person's not going to lunge after someone
I don't care, and they're trying to blame his schizophrenia for that.
See, it just doesn't add up. I mean, if you had like,
hey, I hope you're taping that.
Like if someone has say Irvin was walking down the street with a Rottweiler, and man, you don't carry guns. But say you had a pit bull or a Rottweiler or a great big a Great Dane or wolf or something walking down the street. You going to get some coffee, whatever, and someone accosts you. No one's not going to mess with you in the first place because you have that dog for protection.
Verbal bite, you're not answering.
There's no.
Don't even pay attention to verbal bite.
There's no type of
the more
motivation.
We pay attention to this
what
idiot,
is the motivation
the more
for an unarmed person to lunge after an armed person? There's still that doesn't add up.
I love when I shut these people up because they've not replied to the first thing I said about why are you so quick to remove everybody else because verbal bite has it.
Well,
and verbal bite, Sutton is innocent until proven guilty. They cannot prove Sutton was guilty. Well, you can't prove Sammy was guilty.
Well,
you show me any video footage that shows Sammy's guilty. Verbal bite. I have just as much case to say you can't prove Sammy was guilty, just as much as you say I can't prove Sutton was. You have no response.
No.
And verbal bite. Let me say this too, and anybody else out there. Why are you so adamant and stern in your belief that, hey, the GBI results are in, we have to listen to it, we have to believe it, yet people like you and people that have that mentality don't feel the same way about O.J. Simpson's case.
Right.
You still want to scream, O.J. Simpson's guilty. I don't care if they found him guilty. He's guilty, 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 guilty. I don't care if they found him guilty. He's guilty, guilty. Who cares? The court found him innocent.
And he convicts all Muslims.
So you tell me, what's the difference other than what I say before?
Yeah.
The drop of black blood, right? Mm-hmm. OJ's a black guy. Let's talk about
Muslims
OJ. OJ did it because who cares that they found him innocent? He did it. But wait, Sutton. Oh, look, a police car just drove by. And anyway, Sutton is a white guy. So you're going to obviously believe everything that comes out of a government entity that sides with the white guy, but you're not going to believe everything that comes out of a government entity that sides with the black guy.
Yep.
Come on, look at yourself. Man.
And the GBI report,
and not just you,
all white.
Bite. I'm talking about all of you. Look in the mirror. Look the way you look, and look the way you sound and think. And then you come back and talk to me.
Well, here's the thing. Verbal bite of all people, okay, talks about Muslims, talks about black people. He talks about this, and right? Mm-hmm. And yet, he's saying, oh, Anthony's bringing up the race card. You scumbag. You are like the worst.
You bring it up.
Moron scumbag. He brings it up every day. Every day.
And I'm just for my people in general bring it up.
Yeah, that's why a lot of minorities say, "Why you keep bringing a race car?"
Right.
First of all, the biggest are the ones who bring a race car. And let you know, and just for the fact, just put on the record, you can't when you're playing poker in your card game, you can't have a hand with one freaking card.
Well,
what about the entitled? What about the biggest entitlement card?
Because
the bigot card, the Manifest Destiny card, all these other cards. I mean, that's a whole other story.
He says the public wanted Bush out. The public wanted Clinton out. Yeah, well, Clinton...
No, not the same, though. That's not true whatsoever. That is not true, Vorpal Bite. You know that.
Bush, no, that's Happy Fanny.
Bush had haters. Don't get me wrong. I didn't like Bush. I don't like either Bush. I don't like him either. I don't like Clinton. But the difference is who won his impeachment trial? Clinton. He got impeached, but he didn't get removed from office. He stayed in office. He won, okay? He didn't get removed, so don't tell me that shit. And Bush had its detractors, but guess what? He had a lot of goddamn money backing his ass. He had a lot of damn powerful people backing his ass. Mm-hmm. So don't tell me it's the same thing because you compare the people getting on people, and you compare the people getting on Obama to people getting on Bush, and I guarantee it is not equal grounds. I guarantee the Obama scale is like this.
Oh, yeah.
I guarantee, and I'm not an Obama fan. I'm just telling the truth because I call it like I see
Obama
it. The Obama scale is this way.
This
and
freaking
you know that's
country's
true,
racist.
Biden Fanny. You know that's true, okay? So don't tell me that these white guys were hated. Yeah, they're hated by a select group, but the hate is nowhere near as big. And if you want to talk on the local level, Where are all the people bitching and moaning about getting rid of these incompetent white politicians here?
Yeah.
Right? I constantly, and I'm not a fan of hers, I constantly hear, get rid of Elaine Lucas. Oh, she's black. Right? I constantly hear, get rid of Tim Lee. Oh, he's black. I don't care if people go and get rid of Nancy White, a white councilwoman. Get rid of Lauren Benedict. I don't hear this. Get rid of Joe Allen.
Yeah.
I don't hear this crap.
Right.
I always hear, let's get rid of the incompetent people
who are black,
that happen to be black. Mm-hmm. And then when you have incompetent white people like Rickert, Burns, and Sutton, you don't want to call for their removal. You want to go with the GBI results. So don't give me that shit. And,
and you know what? I mean, we're getting this. Even Donnie Curry. Donnie, I have to admit.
Nobody didn't even try to
that's right.
Donnie, I'm going to address Donnie Curry. Donnie, okay, you're saying he's a Democrat. Of course he won, Anthony. Here's the thing, Donnie. Where you're from, there's so many racist, mean-spirited white people there that I would never move to a state like Nevada. I would never move to a state where Volpobite says he's from. Never. Because I know how racist, how mean-spirited, how disgusting that part of the country is. I already know it. Okay? You people are a bunch of redneck, mean-spirited, cross-burning people.
There's cases
that will look at a black guy. Look at a movie I was watching the other day with Eddie Murphy called Life.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you I never saw it. I remember it.
Yeah.
With Martin Lawrence.
Yeah,
right.
With Martin Lawrence.
I remember.
Let me tell you something. What they were depicting actually happens.
Right.
They come out with a shotgun and tell you to get out of this store. I know I went to a store when I was in... when I went to LA and we started driving towards what the hell is the name of that place? That's a big open area. They call it God damn it. The very famous site that's all mountainous and
La Brea Tar Pits?
No, not that. Where is it located?
It's in Arizona.
Grand Canyon?
Grand Canyon. I was driving in Grand Canyon. I stopped off in a little store in the middle of that road. And let me tell you something. The dirty looks that I got, my ex-wife and I, was deafening. I mean, those people are caught up in their own freaking world. And they don't want, like when we come on, we're not talking about aliens. We are aliens, like from another planet. That's how they view us.
Right.
Okay? And so you're the last guys that ought to be talking and trying to make sense of all this.
Well, Donnie has a right to an opinion.
No. What I'm saying is that you have no credibility to give any kind of intelligent conversation because I bet you any money you don't even have a half a black guy as a friend.
Are you talking Vorpalbite or are you talking
both of them?
Well, what's Donnie saying? What's Donnie? Read what Donnie's saying.
Donnie
Curry. You brought up Donnie
Curry.
No,
he's defending... that was filmed in the South, and he's
okay. So you misspoke. You're not talking. He's talking. You were addressing Vorpalbite and those people
and Donnie.
Okay. Well, I didn't know what Donnie was saying.
But Donnie's agreeing with Vorpalbite.
But no, we're not playing Fanny. We're not playing the race card. It's the truth card.
Yeah.
Fanny. I don't know where you are. If you're in Macon or if you're out of state or city, I don't know where you are. But believe me, look it up. It's facts. You will notice in this city that more people are quick to holler about getting rid of a black person before they are a white person. It's just fact. It's fact in this city.
Yeah.
It shows. There was when Mayor Ellis was a mayor, and you guys don't know this, 2 terms, there was an actual group started called Recall Ellis, started by a young white girl, and she had a website and everything, and she tried to actually have him recalled. After a lot of studying and investigating by the feds, they found that Ellis really didn't do anything wrong, or they couldn't pinpoint anything wrong on him. Okay, where's the recall Rickert? You know, where other than us loudly on this show saying get the hell out of there, get rid of him, where is the recall Rickert? This guy is a schmuck that has done nothing.
Look, anybody...
And he's incompetent, and as Urban said before, he's not a person.
No.
He sits behind his closed doors. He doesn't even address people. You try to get an appointment with him, he ignores you. He forgets he works for you, and yet his ass won't meet with you because he's a coward. The guy's a coward. He's not material to run anything. He's not. And you know what? He's a lawyer, and that doesn't surprise me because the lawyers as a whole are yellow cowards with no spine.
Speaking
Shakespeare
of which,
said it best. First thing we do, let's kill all the lawyers.
Speaking we're at 10:14. We're way past our break
Except my
time.
sister-in-law.
Yeah. It's just,
We're way past our break time.
He was a fellow classmate of mine.
And we're on break, buddy. We got so hot and heated. We got.
It's 10:15.
No, Donnie, you're probably one of the only ones in that state that's not racist. How's that?
Okay.
Does that make you feel better?
It's going on 10:15. It's 10:15 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time in Macon, Georgia. It's 63 degrees outside and making it slightly cloudy, but the sun will come out, as Annie once said.
The sun will come out.
With a high of 84 and a low of 65.
When Rickard's gone. And
You're watching the Morning Roast from Vaughn Live TV.
And Carswell.
Live from the Nut House. Can you smell what the roast is brewing?
I love it. By the end of this year, this thing would have run the news the whole year. The Sammy Davis case, the corrupt police, the whole year.
Awesome.
Hope y'all enjoyed that one.
Down.
What a shitty way to rob a store.
You know, people are making comment about how we're bringing up race card and all that.
Let's go with it. Because
I just want to make a comment here about their comments.
Fuck you and your race card. This is beyond that shit.
I will say this.
Not race.
That's why it took almost 200 years for the blacks to get any kind of freedom, because nobody was saying anything. Okay? It's very convenient to keep your mouth shut.
And it's an
and everybody's walking around pretending that they themselves are not even racist. Oh, well, I like that black guy over there.
And it's an old talking point that's gotten stale.
Exactly.
Tired of you bringing up anytime you address the facts, it's a race card.
Exactly.
Get a new argument, get a little bit of sense in your head, and find out for yourself what it really is. Especially if you don't live here and you're commenting.
Right.
So Vorbelbite, either you're lying and you are from here. Otherwise, if you're not from here, Vorbelbite, then shut up, because you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
No, he doesn't. He lives in a time
No, I've always said I think Vorbelbite's really from Macon. It's somebody around here we know. But if not, then you really don't know what you're talking about in Macon, Georgia. Back to Vorbelbite's comment I wanted to address.
And Manny says, I was the only white guy on my basketball team. I know firsthand racism. You know what? I was stuck in between two stupid places. I'm Hispanic, so I was racist. They were racist against me because I was Spanish, and the blacks were racist against me because I'm Spanish. So I get it from both ends.
Vorbelbite, you haven't got a leg to stand on,
get it
so
from
you blame others for playing the race card.
I get it from every other race I'm playing, even my own people.
Vorbelbite, you and the ilk,
I get it from
that
people too,
you're
because
pretending
like, I
to
ain't never heard of Christopher Columbus.
Yeah, Indiana, one of the most racist states in the union.
Regardless of where he is, and if he's just stirring it, I love it because he's bringing out something in us that's good for the show. So Vorbelbite's fueling our fire as well. But I'm replying to him because these are real questions people might say. But basically, that's it, Vorbelbite. You're playing the race card to play the race card.
Exactly.
That's your only defense. And that's all the people like you are going to ever have. But the truth of the matter is, you can't prove me wrong what I just told you.
Yep.
Everybody wants to remove the black guy and the black woman around here that are doing stuff wrong, but nobody wants to remove the white guy that's doing something wrong. You tell me that's not happening. You tell me that's not happening.
Definitely a point. I mean, my goodness, look at what's going on in Boston. No one ever said anything about who were involved yet, at least because they don't want to rock the boat or anything. And if you realize,
you're right, Verbal.
If you realize
because it's true,
the
race did come out of my
terrorism. When they talk about terrorism, they think about Osama bin Laden, Saddam Hussein. They don't talk about the KKK and Aryan Brotherhood and all these other people. We had homegrown. We had terrorism long before 9/11. Even before Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
So even someone was saying, whether or not will the person, if the person or persons involved happen to be white, will they be labeled as terrorists as well, instead of if the person may be brown, but we don't know.
Scroll back up for me, Derek. Something that Vorbelbite said on break about Sutton. It started with Sutton something something something.
Anyway, Manny says,
Well, you
I hear you, Herb.
Yes.
Most think I was a token white guy, but I had game and had to prove it on the court and off every damn day. Wow. So you have reverse racism, Manny.
Vorbite, question here. First of all, who's Nick that you refer to? Vorbite says Sutton faced review, justified. So all he has to fight back with is racism. It's dishonest. It's not dishonest. Because if you look at the guy's record, like we have, it's pretty blatant that Sutton's a racist.
Yeah.
It's pretty damn blatant he is. It's pretty damn blatant that he is a racist.
Just
so don't
based
say
on
I'm
the
bringing the
reports.
race card in it, okay? Look at the different people that Sutton has had complaints from.
Yeah.
I find it mighty weird that I think all of them, I might be wrong, but at least 95% of them are black. Now you tell me all the black people are just picking on poor little white Sutton. You tell me that.
Yeah.
You don't think any of these have a leg to stand on. You know you're full
And
of
not
shit
only
if you don't
that-
think
not
that.
only is
You tell me that there's not some platform to stand on and to be made sturdy that Sutton is a bad apple. You tell me, Vorbite, that that's not true, and I'll call you a liar any day, whether it's in your face or over the computer. You tell me that. Justify. Let me tell you. Let me bring up some cases. You tell me what you think of this, Vorbite. O.J. Simpson, justified? Think about it. Casey Anthony, justified?
Amanda Knox.
Justified? I want your answer, Vorbite.
Well, he's not going to give it.
Well, no, but let's give him.
Wait.
Let's show him to the chatters.
Urban,
I'll let you talk, but let the chatters see Vorbite's nature and people that act like Vorbite is portrayed.
Listen, people know Vorbite already. And I will say this. Vorbite likes to bring up that GBI report, right? But I bet you he'll discredit the police report. I bet you he'll discredit the police report that you're saying shows racism. I bet you Vorbite will be the first one to say, well, that's only a police report.
Happy Fanny, Clayton Sutton was a killer. You answered it. You go, OJ's a killer, Casey's a killer, Knox was a killer, Clayton Sutton is a killer. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Plain and simple.
Everyone says, don't know Sutton, bro.
Yeah, you don't know the others either. Not personally. You just know what the media told you, right? Right? Fanny, do you know O.J. Simpson? Do you know Casey Anthony? Do you know Amanda Knox? No, you don't.
Don't know Sutton, bro.
Don't know, bro. Yeah, and I just replied. Fanny doesn't know the other ones that they named either. Vorbite, you got nothing. You're down for the count. 1, 2, 3.
Goodbye.
Ding. You're out of here.
And not
but
only
you can stay on and
that,
keep
do
going.
we really need to pay attention to Vorbite?
We gave enough time. We'll go on to something else.
Speaking of ringing the bell, going out for the count. I'm going to, on the line now, I'm going to put in some sports because Gamer Girl says, do you have some sports to talk about, David? You know it's gotten really heated up when Gamer Girl is asking me, begging me to put on some sports.
Gamer Girl's clever. She's got a clever sense of humor to her. I like her.
Yes,
Look at that. Look at
we
Gamer
got
Girl.
some sports.
Look at Gamer Girl dancing away.
For some Major League Baseball. Yeah, some Major League Baseball. We have the Kansas City defeated Atlanta Braves 1-0. Houston Astros lost to the Oakland A's 7-5. Pittsburgh Pirates beat St. Louis 5-0. Arizona loses to the New York Yankees 4-3. Boston Red Sox beat Cleveland Indians 6-3. Tampa Bay Rays beat Baltimore Orioles 6-2. Chicago White Sox defeat Toronto Blue Jays 7-0. Washington Nationals beat Miami Marlins 6-1. Cincinnati Reds beat Philadelphia Phillies 11-2. Milwaukee Brewers beat San Francisco Giants 4-3. Detroit Tigers beat Seattle Mariners 2-1, and San Diego Padres beat the LA Dodgers 7-2. And some other notes I wanted. I know I've been pushing it back for the last 2
days ago.
Yeah, so Kobe Bryant's Achilles tendon rupture. That says the role of increased minutes. Says following Kobe Bryant's season-ending Achilles tendon rupture, there's much debate about the role of increased minutes during the Lakers' playoff push and contributing to the injury. Without full knowledge of Kobe's training and medical history, all of this is at best educated speculation. It says, nonetheless, there are at least 4 major factors to be considered. There may be load and stress.
Pressing them too hard.
Yes, movement mechanics and compensations. His age. Achilles tendon ruptures most common between the ages of 30 and 39. With aging comes several relevant risk factors, including changes of tendon stiffness, tissue type, and organization. LA Clippers guard Chauncey Billups, who suffered the same injury last year at the age of 35. Hall of Famer Dominique Wilkins, who suffered in 1992 at the age of 32. And at the time of the injuries, was playing high minutes, 37 minutes per game. So many other people, and most of those guys usually when you get a Achilles tendon rupture, that's usually a career-ending injury.
And add to the fact that Kobe's not a young chicken anymore.
No, because he's like he's 36. Yeah.
I was about to say that. I think he's done. I think his career is done.
Yeah.
Because this isn't gonna heal any time for the season to end. And it wouldn't surprise me if he's not even ready for next season.
Yeah, it says it'd be 6. It said 6 to 9 months, better part of a year to recover from it. But if he does recover from it, and I'm not trying to be Nostradamus or anything like that, but I think if he does recover, Nostradamus. Not trying to be Nostradamus, but if Kobe does overcome his injury. It may be his last season, I'm guessing.
Good, because I never could stand the Lakers. I've never liked the Lakers, and I'm not a fan of any of their players. Mm-hmm. I just like the Dallas Cowboys. Never liked the Cowboys in football. Don't like the Lakers in basketball. Mm-hmm. They're equivalent to me. Hated teams by me.
Wow.
Any other sports, Derek? Don't tell me you don't have any wrestling news for us.
Yeah, that fake sport.
Come on, Derek.
Well, there was a match where this guy named Wade Barrett, no relation, from England, was going against Justin Gabriel, South African wrestler, where he defended his Intercontinental Championship title on WWE's Wednesday night main event. Now, however, for our international viewers, especially Sabuki from the UK, the WWE will be having their next programming. We'll be going to London, England, to have their shows filmed there. Their shows are taped there Friday, starting with Friday Night SmackDown and Monday Night Raw. They will be there in London.
Derek, Sabuki. Mm-hmm. Derek, he doesn't have money to pay you, Sabuki. he can't pay you, but he begs you. Please get into that match. Take in like a little pin camera. Take in some kind of little spy gadget camera. And for Derek's sake, Sabuki, he begs you. He'll forever be indebted to you, Sabuki. Please. Sabuki, he'll be your Django. Please, Sabuki, get in that British WWE event. Get some interviews. Send the footage back to the Morning Roast. Derek will forever love you.
And if you can get the phone numbers of the senators, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The
Doritos Locos Tacos. Doritos Locos Tacos.
Okay, Donnie Curry says, I want to go back to something Donnie Curry said. Donnie Curry did say in his defense, he goes, I am probably the only non-racist in Nevada.
Yeah, exactly. I would agree.
Mm-hmm. And I would agree. So Donnie did
told him
agree with you.
He's stealing a line from me. You're probably the only guy, because I don't see a racist bone in Donnie, except when he makes comments that are anti what.
Well, no, I mean everybody's allowed to make comments, and making comments doesn't mean you're something.
No,
I mean, because especially with me,
but he seems to be well balanced.
I joke around with a lot of stuff. I'm saying shit all over the place. I'm all about freedom of speech, and I'll say stuff to stir shit up, and I'll say stuff to get a laugh, and I'll call myself things I'm not, because you can't just believe everything you hear.
Yeah.
I
wonder if we're crossing the line.
Your actions make you a racist.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if we're crossing the line. They said no racism.
No, we're talking about a very serious issue. I think that's why we were number one. Are we still number one? I mean, we were at the top of the Vaughn Live chain. So yeah. See, they must like what we're doing. Yeah. Because we're talking
if we were talking
we're talking about real issues.
Yeah.
And let's face it, it's not racism. It's not the race card. That's the old ass topic.
We're still number one.
Are using. Morning roast. Topic and name, please. What's up, Donnie? Hold on, Donnie. Start over. I didn't have your first 4 words. Start over.
I don't mind dragging on. I get upset. Everybody gets upset, so I'll just make my point. I typed in there with in between your guys' conversation about if you're gonna fight racism, you need to fight the equal racism. I understand what you were talking about how Sutton was racist. That's fine. I'm not against what you said there. Okay. What I'm against is that if you brought up the whole fact that if you've got all these black people getting pushed away, well, look at the east or the west coast over here. It's the opposite. So the racism card is on the other side of the coin.
Oh, I agree.
You guys are
But remember, there's only 14% of black people.
Donnie, I agree. Racism goes everywhere.
Yeah, but there's only 14% of Americans are black.
And keep in mind, Donnie, I'm not picking and choosing. I made a sign which I've held and other people have held at many rallies we've done. These signs, and let me say this real quick. And one of the names on that sign that says to remove is a black man. It says, wait, Dottie, wait, and then I'll let you go. Wait. It says Mayor Robert Rickert, Chief Burns, Deputy Chief Carswell, a black man, Officer Sutton, it's time to go. Okay? I'm going to follow the chain. I think if you are a cop and you are in any way connected with being in charge of your troops and you have been incompetent, you need to go.
Yep.
And there is a black man in there, and his name is Carswell, and we're calling him out too. So I agree. Go.
Listen. I'll listen to your response after I get off the phone because I don't want it to be the Donnie Curry show.
We got you.
Good deal.
The point I'm making is this: I never, ever hear you guys talk about the racist organization called Black Panthers or the Brown Berets or all these other La Raza groups. Okay? All I ever hear is how the white man is bringing all the other ethnic groups down. Well, I'm on the other side of the scale. All I ever hear is these racist organizations that are not white that don't get talked about. And then I'll let you guys off.
Donnie, I can't hear you because of coughing fit.
Sorry, Donnie.
Go ahead. Donnie? Hello?
Donnie.
I think his phone went out. That wasn't ours.
Anyway,
we got your point, Donnie. And let me say this.
Yeah.
Let me say this. You're right. And you know what? I will say it, and I've said it in the past. I do think Al Sharpton. Turn that off. I do think Al Sharpton is somewhat racist. I do. I do think some of the stuff Al Sharpton does is racist.
Oop.
That's Donnie again, I'm sure.
Hello, morning room.
I do think some groups, like the Black Panthers, have racist intent. I do think Louis Farrakhan is a big racist.
Oh yeah.
I do. Now I agree. There are racists of all sorts. But the point is, Donnie, is let's be honest. You haven't heard us talk about the Black Panther and the other group he named. What was that group? I never heard of that.
Brown Berets is like a Latino version.
I never heard of that. Okay. That's new. I learned something, Donnie. I didn't know what the Brown Berets were.
Yeah.
But you're right. We haven't mentioned them. But let's be honest, Donnie. We haven't really mentioned the KKK here either. Now, Derek occasionally has brought them up in the past.
Aaron Skinheads.
As a whole, come on, Donnie. We haven't really mentioned them either. I mean, the thing with this case, Donnie, is I'm going for it locally, okay? I'm going for it locally within the city I live in, within the city that my dad was born in, within the city that I am, like, through my dad's side, a 5th generation at least, if not 6th generation Maconite, through my dad's side. I'm going with this city. Because you know what? And you know what? And this is what's also really weird and not normal either. This is a white guy who comes from a family that I could probably, safe to say, even though I didn't live then, probably had a few racists in it. You know? Because I know I have family members in my line that fought in the Civil War. I've had them on both sides. I have family members on my line that fought for the Yankees too. But I've had them that fought for the Confederates. Okay? I know I have people in my line that probably own slaves. I know this, okay? I know this. But the thing about it is I'm a new generation of my line, okay? It's time to move on. We can't, just like I tell people not to hold me accountable for what my forefathers did, what my relatives did, don't hold everybody else accountable either. And that goes black or white, Donnie. That goes black or white. It goes both ways. Don't blame me for what my forefathers did, and I'm not going to blame you as a black person or a Mexican person for what I saw some black people do when they jumped on a white guy and 6 of them beat and killed a white guy. I know enough sense and have enough sense to know that because of a few bad apples, I'm not going to blame a whole race.
Yeah.
It's plain and simple, Donnie. It's plain and simple. But I'm so tired of this.
And you don't have to make a song about it like LL Cool J and Brad Paisley did.
Yeah.
But which even that, even though their intentions were good, it's still kind of simplistic and kind of ignorant, because when you think about it, the do-rag thing about my do-rag and I won't think about your Confederate flag. First of all, blacks weren't even fighting for weren't even about the Confederate flag. It's basically northern whites and southern whites, because you still have northern people and southern white people who still look at your do-rag crazy. I mean, this kind of ignorance.
Yeah.
It's like saying if you're a Jewish person saying to, like, don't talk about my yarmulke, I won't talk about your swastika.
Right.
I mean, do you see how ridiculous
that's I'm an equal asshole. I make fun of all races.
Well,
including
here's the
myself.
Al
that's just my sense of humor.
I would somewhat slightly disagree that Al Sharpton is a racist. He may have been at one time.
He is.
Well, let me just say this. He is responding to racism. And so it kind of makes him look like a racist, because he's responding to racist comments and all that. And he was never really given the credibility that he deserved as a reverend, especially amongst people who are anti-him, the people that don't like him. And even in New York City, there were a lot of people, mostly white, who couldn't stand Al Sharpton.
Right.
They could not. They used to call him.
Well, there's black people that don't like him.
Right.
There are.
That's true.
There are.
Just like there's black people that don't like Jesse Jackson.
Exactly.
And
I don't like Jesse Jackson.
Yeah, and it's like, and you're right, Donnie. There are all out there, but the reason I and we are pinpointing these people because we live in this city. We are talking about our city, our issues. We are talking about a guy shot who was allowed to sit outside a supermarket for years. Okay, never told to leave. Allowed to sit out there, all right?
For years.
For years. I saw myself in person sitting there many a times, going to that store to shop for my mom or for myself, with my kids, with my wife, okay? With my girlfriend, whatever. I saw this guy. I'm not saying he didn't have problems occasionally. Who doesn't? But every time I walked past him, he never was bothering anybody. He never was getting into any trouble. Never saw the guy being talked to by a police officer. He's always on the bench with a couple of buddies talking, drinking, and eating his chips. Okay? I never saw any of this, and I've been around that Kroger since its inception, which is about 14 years now that it's been built there. Okay? I've never seen him do anything. I'm not saying he didn't do anything, but the point of the matter is we jumped on this case from the get-go because of location. Location, location, location. Demographics. It happened at a place near and dear to me. It happened where I grew up somewhat, where I went to school, where my mom still to this day lives, okay? It hit home. I went by what I saw daily before any of this came out, before any of you even knew about this, okay? Knew about this guy. When I knew of him sitting there, I knew that something was fishy because I'd never seen him do anything, and because he had never been told to remove himself from there, I knew that something was fishy. That's what prompted me to go look if there was a warrant on him and what was the warrant, because they said there was, and that's what got the ball rolling. There was no warrant. It was a lie. And I've said it before. I said it to Sutton when he called our show and we interviewed him. I said, you made the mistake of doing what you did. You showed your bully attitude, your bully mentality. You were getting away with it everywhere else. You made the wrong choice when you came in my backyard and did it. And did it. You did it in the wrong neighborhood. You did it where a white guy lives or has lived before, that doesn't have anything to lose, that's got all the time in the world, that doesn't respect and doesn't like people coming into my area and using those tactics. You did it in the wrong spot, Sutton. and we called you out on it, and this is why we are where we are.
Look at what he said. Vorpalbite says the story is that he was begging for money. So that deserves him to get
so
killed.
So Vorpalbite, according to you, we should have about, let's say, at least 1,000 people in town dead and shot.
And just in your town.
Because I know of a lot of people that ask for money around here.
I've been asked for money twice this week.
Most people on welfare and on food stamps are white. Face it.
Well, it doesn't matter what you
are. No,
it
does, because they're just as much beggars as anybody else.
Well, my point is that we have a lot of beggars in this town, and you know what? In Vorpalbite's mentality, then they all should be shot.
Yeah.
Right, man? Right, Vorpal? They all should be shot. Don't answer that, Vorpal.
He says that's a cause for the cop to stop him. Well, first of all...
Not a renegade road cop.
But he has to know the story because he's an idiot making comments on shit he don't know. First of all, it was a woman who called up and talked to somebody that somebody just begged her for money, that it was, of course, it was Junebug. So the woman reported him. He wasn't seen by the cop, you moron.
Okay, Vorpalbite, we're done answering you. Let's go to other chatters. Okay. I don't want this to become
Mad Dog.
The Vorpalbite. Let's go up and let's get back. I want to get some stuff because these guys, our fans, our chatters, our viewers, they're taking a lot of time and effort to type away. He's ignored Vorpalbite. He's done. He doesn't have a response.
Yeah, Randall 68.
All right, Mad Dog says...
No, he's got it, Irvin.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Randall 68 was saying... I was trying to get
well, don't miss Mad Dog.
No, he's going to get to it.
Yeah,
we're going to get
Mad
to
Dog
it.
says, we are the majority of the population. That's why there are more whites on welfare. Yeah,
that's
we
correct.
know that. But people don't think of
that's
Roseanne
right.
from Roseanne,
No,
Roseanne Barr and Roseanne. They think of Florida Evans from Good Times.
There's the profile going on.
See?
You go back. Listen, I want to get some other people. I want to get Gamer Girl.
Randall 68. Just keep reading.
Yeah, I want to get Manny.
Okay.
I want to get people that
call. Thanks for coming in. Yes.
Just grab some.
There was a house in Digby County, Nova Scotia, where someone's brother went and burned a cross on their lawn. See, that's a first for me. I never thought people were prejudiced in Canada. But
they're all over.
I'm saying it's Canada's cold as hell. It's kind of first of all. I'm not saying that there are prejudiced people in Canada. There's a lot less in Canada than there are in the United States. I'm just saying you rarely hear about that in Canada. And plus, it's too freaking cold. It's kind of hard to be prejudiced, and it's even harder to burn a freaking cross in a blizzard. Right. But I'm just saying, given weather conditions.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Donnie Curry said to C-Fluck, I said my family has been there in Georgia probably the longest since 1710. Can any of you Georgians say you've been there longer? Well, what part of Georgia, Donnie? That's...
And were you around in 1710?
It's kind of weird because Georgia was founded in 1733, named after King George.
But I think what Donnie's saying then is Donnie's saying that maybe he has relatives that are Native American.
Okay.
Right, Donnie? Are you saying you have...
No, don't put words in his mouth. He said 1710.
Right, but
this place didn't even exist then.
No, but it did his land. It did his land.
The land was.
It existed as land.
Not as a colony.
He doesn't know his stuff.
Well, Donnie, I want you to... I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I'm not questioning Donnie's genealogy. Okay, Donnie? I know for a fact my family, we can trace mine back as early, and it might go further, but here in Macon, Georgia, we can trace it back to the 1840s. Macon was founded as a city in 1823. Okay? So, I have the earliest Harris here, and it might go earlier, but we only have record of it going to the 1840s. So, and again, we've had people in my family tell us down the line, grandfathers, grandmothers say that there was some Indian in our family line to, native, indigenous people.
Yeah.
And so who knows? Who knows? And the point is, I've said it on the show before, we're all mutts, guys and gals. We're all mutts. We're all mixtures of everything somewhere down the line. A lot of us are bigger mutts than others, but we're mutts. Let's face it. And the point is I'm not letting this police force get away with the crap they've been getting away with for years and decades in this town. And it's funny that they want to get away with it right before this place is consolidated and they're disbanded. And that's why they hate that we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Because we are going to do what I said early on in this fight. I said it at rallies. I said it to people in conversation. That you know what? We're not going to let you get away with what you've been doing for decades. If you have to leave this city with a bad legacy, due to this, because you brought it on yourself, then so be it. And the Macon Police Department is going to leave this city with a bad legacy.
Okay. There you go. A Mad Dog says, 1968, I don't care if you are a Martian. What the police did ain't right. That's right.
That's true.
Yeah. And that's the bottom line. Yeah. That really is the bottom line. The police are supposed to be the ones that are in control, as they say, of a situation, especially one like the Junebug thing. Let me finish.
Serve that situation.
Right, they're supposed to serve it. And they also, there's enough blame to go around, okay?
Yeah.
There's the blame on, let's start with the mayor, okay? Not overseeing his police department.
Right.
Let's go to Burns, not overseeing his police department.
The assistant
Let's
police
go
chief,
to Caldwell,
deputy chief,
not in charge of the police department.
A black man.
Let's go to city council, not approving money to buy tasers and pepper spray.
Mixed black and white.
Exactly. And let's go to the Junebug family for not helping him with his medication. But they're the least of the blame. Because you can't force somebody to go and drink water if they refuse to.
Or force medicine.
And he was in his 40s.
Because a 49-year-old man.
The man was almost 50 years old.
I mean, there's just so much you can do.
To us many times.
I happen to be one who recognizes that I hate taking medicine. My doctors tell me all the time, Irving, the reason why you're this sick is because you won't take your medicine. It's a very hard thing to deal with. Stomach ache, backache, sleepless nights, all that crap that goes with
diarrhea,
that kind of medicine. Diarrhea, like I have now, taking medicine.
Oh yeah, I was saying, like, when people, I mean, people always go to, well, he should have, done, well, they did do something, but I'm just want to reiterate that on the day that Junebug was murdered, Cheryl cried that he already left the house before she woke up.
She told us that the last time she saw him alive was the night before.
Right.
He got up early, left. I think she said the only
Isn't that wild?
I think she said the only one in the household that saw her was one of her daughters. That talked to him.
Yep.
Everybody else was still asleep.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, we could go on and on about the drug issue, taking your medicine, looking out for people, being the brother's keeper, and all that stuff. We can go on and on and on until we turn blue. The point is the matter is that the police are supposed to follow procedure, right? The police are supposed to serve and protect, okay? The police are supposed to be a higher standard of people because of their job.
Correct.
They're supposed to be
when
top-notch.
Much is given, much is expected.
They're supposed to. That's their job. I don't care if you're getting paid fucking oatmeal. You chose to do the job. You signed up for it. You accept the pay you signed up for. Otherwise, don't do the job. But don't sign up for the job with the pay and then bitch and go, well, I'm not going to do my job correctly because you're not paying me correctly. Well, then don't go for the job. You know the pay. Okay? The point is you're a police officer. You follow procedure. You serve and protect. Basically, to me, what that tells me, if you're a real police officer, behave this way. You show up at a scene, okay? Let's say a scene like this. A call where a black man followed me to my car and asked me for money. This is what the lady claims.
It's only $1.
Sutton, you know darn well, and we weren't there, but you weren't either. Sutton, you know darn well he did not approach Sammy in a
nice
civil, serving and protecting manner. You know he didn't, okay? If he had gone to him and it was like, hey man, come on, how's it going, and was friendly with the guy, looked at him on a level of man-to-man, equals. If he had acted this way, the situation would have been completely diffused. I believe that. The minute he saw the man, before he got out of the car,
yeah, there's that big fat crazy slob.
He should have grabbed his
need backup.
Bring me backup. From Precinct 3, which is about 50 yards from Kroger. It's less than a football field from Kroger. Okay? He didn't follow procedure. The guy has made mistake after mistake after mistake. Okay? He should not be a police officer, and he shouldn't have been a police officer before that day. So regardless of the GBI results, the mayor and the chief and the deputy chief should have fired the guy and go, we're looking at your record, and guy, you're just not right for this job. But yet he's getting taxpayer money, being paid taxpayer money to sit on his ass for the 14 weeks it took for the results to come back or so, and now cleared, given a pencil pusher job in an office because the chief in the paper said himself, if he gets cleared, there's no way I'm going to put him back on the streets because his life's in danger. Well, you're damn right his life is in danger. It should be in danger. So they have to put his ass behind a desk somewhere now, but he shouldn't even be paid to do that. Because if he's going to fuck up as a patrolman, what's he fucking up as a pencil pusher? You know? What is Sutton fucking up behind a desk that we don't know of if he's fucking up as a patrolman?
What if he? Yeah.
What is he fucking up behind a desk?
Yeah, I mean, people don't trust him on the street. What makes you think you trust him in the office?
Exactly.
I mean, you
the
know,
guy
what
should
if he
fired.
might doctor your, like, say you get a
he
ticket
could doctor papers.
up.
Yes. Point made and take it and said
he can shred evidence.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's very true.
Yeah, Anthony, you hit every point. That's why you're going to be speaking.
Well,
you hit every point.
I've thought this out. Believe it or not, people just keep thinking I'm a crazy guy that hasn't thought any of what I'm saying. You got to understand, we've been on this from the beginning. All right, from
how many months now?
From the late hours of December 21st, when the news hit me that happened at a Kroger down the street from my mom's house. We've been on this, okay? Add into the fact that I grew up somewhat in that area. From about 7th grade on, when we moved to Macon, Georgia, when my dad retired from the Army, we left upstate New York and moved to Macon, Georgia, right, back in 1980, back in 82, right in there, 83. I've lived in that area, coming and going. I've moved and come back and moved and come back. Okay, I know the area. So don't tell me I'm just a guy that just doesn't know what he's talking about. I know the area. I'm aware of the people in that area. Okay? I'm aware of the neighborhood left and right, okay? And that's what was made, the mistake that was made when they went into my backyard, okay? My family's backyard and pulled the shit that they pulled. An officer who doesn't even live in Macon, Georgia, who lives in Warner Robins, who knows nothing about Macon, Georgia, obviously, and on top of that, an officer from Arkansas, okay? So don't tell me that the guy knew what he was doing and he was in the right. Because he's not. And they all got to
follow up to that story.
They all got to go.
Yeah, I do. Well, talking about justice or searching for it.
Getting what you deserve.
Yes, getting what you deserve. Sophia Stewart, the real creator of The Matrix, wins the $1 billion copyright case.
I'm for her. Because you know what? I can't stand the Wachowski brothers. Those fuckers cannot make a good movie. They suck as movie makers. Go ahead.
Okay. There's this little known story about that's just met a conclusion as Sophia Stewart, an African American author of The Matrix, will finally receive her just due from the copyright infringement of her original work.
Uh-oh, we're playing the race card here. It's an African American woman. Whoa.
See, that's what
race card being played. 2 white guys that wrote and directed The Matrix are now bad white guys going after that black woman. Race card. Go.
I wish I had the remote control to play.
That's just a stupidity.
I just wish I had the remote control to put that sound effect. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Go. Okay. Sorry to interrupt there.
A 6-year dispute had ended involving Sophia Stewart, the Wachowski brothers, and now the Wachowski
brother
siblings.
Sister, because one had a sex change.
Yeah, sister. Yeah, Joel Silver and Warner Brothers. Stewart's allegations involving copyright infringement and racketeering were received and acknowledged by the Central District of California Judge Margaret Morrow presiding.
Good for her.
Stewart, a New Yorker who has resided in Salt Lake City, Utah for the past 5 years, will recover damages from the films The Matrix 1, 2, and 3, as well as The Terminator and its sequels. She will soon receive one of the biggest payoffs in the history of Hollywood, as the the gross receipts of both films and their sequels total over $2.5 billion with a B.
I got something to tell you, Derek, that pertains to you and me.
Okay.
After this.
Stewart filed her case in 1999 after viewing The Matrix, which she felt had been based on her manuscript, The Third Eye, copyrighted in 1981. In the mid-'80s, Stewart had submitted her manuscript to to an ad placed by the Wachowski brothers requesting new sci-fi works.
Wow, went right to them.
Wow.
Went right to the horse's mouth, the brothers themselves.
According to the court documentation, an FBI investigation discovered that more than 30 minutes had been edited from the original film in an attempt to avoid penalties for copyright infringement. The investigator also stated that credible witnesses employed at Warner Brothers came forward claiming that the executives and lawyers had full knowledge that the work in question did not belong to the Wachowski brothers. The witnesses claimed to have seen Stewart's original work and that it had been often used during preparation of the motion pictures. The defendants tried on several occasions to have Stewart's case dismissed without success. Stewart has confronted skepticism on all sides, much of which comes from the Matrix fans, who are strangely loyal to Wachowski brothers. One online forum entitled Matrix Explained
must be people like Vorpalbite
has an entire section devoted to Stewart.
I'm giving Vorpalbite too much attention.
Some who have researched her history and writings are open to her story. Others are suspicious and mocking. It doesn't bother me, said Stewart in a phone interview last week. I always knew it was true. Now, some fans are unaware of the case or they question its legitimacy due to the fact that it received little to no media coverage, though the case was not made public until October of 2003. Stewart has her own explanation as quoted in at aghettotymz.com.
That's right.
It says the reason you have not seen any of this in the media is because Warner Brothers' parent company is AOL Time Warner. This giant owns 95% of the media.
Yes.
Let me give you a clue as to what they own in the media business. New York Times, papers and magazines / magazines. LA Times, papers and magazines. People Magazine, CNN News, Extra, Celebrity Justice, Entertainment Tonight, HBO, New Line Cinema, DreamWorks, Newsweek, Village Roadshow, and many, many, many more. They're not going to report on themselves. They've been suppressing my case for years.
There you go. I love it. I love when justice is served.
$1 billion?
In this case. Oh, she's getting many billion. Go back up.
Oh, yeah.
It says it in the title. No, go ahead. The headline tells you.
She wins me and
it is $1 billion. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was a couple of billion.
Great.
Anyway, good. See, I love that because those fucking people in Hollywood, they think they're unstoppable.
They steal.
Not only that, they think they're unstoppable because they got the money to back them. They've got the media to back them. And you think about it, good for her. Because, and this is what I was going to bring up about us, Derek, when I told you to remind me. And this is why I want to urge you and push you to self-publish. And that's one reason why I always self-published, is because regardless of how you published it, it's published. And that serves as a copyright. And if any of your shit is later on down the line used and stolen and used in a movie,
and especially when you're working like guys with...
Well, just when you send it out, you've already sent it out, right?
Yeah,
it's out there.
I already got it copywritten from Library Compass.
I know, but it's good to get it because, see, my books I wrote, like Solex Project, for example, that thing was written, I wrote that like a movie. That's written like a movie.
Yeah.
It's an action-packed sci-fi
thing. You're talking Vicious?
No, I'm talking about my book, not my movies. The movies speak for themselves. My book. But my thing is that I've sent that thing out a lot of places. And if down the line that ever becomes a movie, because it's got the ingredients to be a movie. And I'm going to plug my book for a minute. It's got the ingredients to be a summer blockbuster. It's action-packed. It's got werewolves in it. It's got cat men in it. It's got sci-fi. It's got post-apocalyptic, 9/11. It's got it all. But the thing about it, I published it, self-published it. I had 500 copies made, 500 run so far, first print.
Not bad.
It's all over the place. And the minute that ever turns up as anything remotely as a movie or TV show, I'm going after them. And that's why I'm saying it's good to do that, because people will always tell you, no, don't self-publish, that's bad, don't do that, blah, 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 that's just the worst thing you can do. But the thing about it, you have to protect your stuff, like this woman. You know, these Wachowski chumps, they thought, oh, this little old lady and wherever, blah, 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 she's not going to say anything about us.
Well, it took her 14 years.
Yeah. You know, no, this little old lady's not going to do anything about us stealing her script. And you know what?
And plus, a lot of people don't know about this. Although there's an outside implication as to racial injustice because Stewart is African American, she does not feel this is not the case. This is all about the Benjamin, said Stewart. It's not about money with me. It's about justice.
That's right. Justice.
she says if she's currently having discussions with CBS about a possible exclusive story and has several media engagements in the near future to nationally publicize her victory.
Let me ask you something, Derek, and see if it came up later in the story. Answer me this if you know, and anybody out there in the chat room. Because she won, do they now have to take all existing prints of The Matrix and put her name on the credits? I bet they do. I bet she has to be included as a screenwriter now. And that's to be interesting to find out. Because whenever they show it and release it on DVD and Blu-ray and all these forms, they're going to have to put her name in there.
Yeah, because I have the original Matrix.
I guarantee it.
Yeah. That is true.
Now, Wachowski brothers are just schmucks.
Because
they ruined V for Vendetta for me.
Because I really thought, because I thought, at least they thought they maybe could get away with it. I mean, I can't get into the side of their heads, but maybe since, black people, they don't make, they don't go to that many sci-fi movies. You don't see them in sci-fi movies anyway.
Yeah.
Unless
lots of musicians
unless they're
got
Lando
ripped off.
Calrissian, but other than that,
Anonymous says lots of
okay.
Anonymous says lots of musicians got ripped off throughout the years.
Oh,
too.
of course. I mean, look at the great blues great Robert Johnson. Robert Johnson, the great blues. If you don't know who Robert Johnson is, look him up. Awesome stuff. Good music. Everybody and their brother took from him. Led Zeppelin. Rolling Stones.
Edison, by the way.
I mean, it says Thomas Edison cheated Tesla. See now.
Yes, I always defend Tesla. And
I did not know this.
Everybody doesn't want to defend Tesla. I defend the hell out of Tesla.
And truth be told, I did not know about this until I saw the Epic Rap Battles of History video. Thomas Edison
remember,
versus
I brought
Nikola
up Tesla
Tesla
on this show after we showed that.
Yeah, you did.
I kept trying to tell you guys, Tesla was screwed. Tesla was screwed big time. I mean, it happens. You're right. Who said that comment? Anonymous? You're right,
Anonymous, and then, of course, Happy Fanny's mentioning it.
Beach Boys.
Happy Three Bears.
Beach Boys ripped off Chuck Berry.
Well, Beach Boys also, and you're not going to like this, Derek, but he has a leg to stand on this. Beach Boys also tried, and that's one reason he went on the killing spree with his minions. Beach Boys ripped off Manson.
Yeah.
Manson actually wrote a few songs that the Beach Boys used, changed it around, added lyrics, changed it a little bit, kept the same theme, kept some of his words. And
everybody wants to get into the act.
Well, it's just we already know the old saying, every artist is a cannibal, every poet's a thief. I believe Bono sung that in one of his U2 songs. It's of course. I mean, we know that, but the thing about it, it's good to see the little person win. The little one win.
The little guy,
because they do this shit all the time.
Yep.
You know they do it. We're going to go to about 11:30. If Ed's cool with that, Derek is cool with that, or everyone wants to go till 11:30, I'm cool with that. We got to still do Wordsmith. We got to do Daily Bread. I went ahead and posted 3. I'll get Derek to read one. 3 Eat Your Words last night, so I don't have to keep bringing this damn book all the time.
You got your insult book?
I already got them posted. It's on the Facebook page. Derek pulls up the Facebook page, or you, somebody, or even Ed, and just read one of them. I got 3 new ones up there.
Also, by the way, I want to tell you that just to tell a gamer girl, the NHL and NBA, I think sometime next week they're supposed to go into their playoffs for this season, though, because they're into their last games of the season, respectively, both hockey and basketball, since they both basketball and hockey seasons both play at the same time. So the NBA, they're going to go into their playoffs on April 21st. So it may be maybe give or take a day or give or take a week. The NHL will be going to their playoffs as well. So those who are hockey fans.
Welcome, Lady K1. I just noticed you're on. Let's go, Derek. Can we go back up to some chatters? I want to get more to some people. Let's get to what
City. Oh yeah,
completely skip V. Okay, we don't want more of him. He had more than enough time.
City Bum says every rock band cheated Bach, Beethoven, and Mozart.
That's true. No, that's true. I mean, they are the original rockers, right?
Well, yeah.
Abby Fanny says the music business did it, the movie business did it, your forefathers did it. Edison took credit for Lewis Howard Latimer's invention of the filament within the light bulb.
Yes, a black inventor. Yeah. He
every rock band. This is City Bum. Every rock band cheated
in the light bulb.
Every rock band cheated Bach, Beethoven, and Mozart.
Pardon him. He's on Irvin time. All right, page 19. Page 19 for Wordsmith. A little segment we do every show for
Three
the
Bears
newbies out there. It's Dictionary of Word Origins by John Ato. We randomly you randomly pick a page and a word for us, and we read it off.
Yes, and plastic canvas.
Unless Chris Payne is here.
Plastic canvas and 3 beds. I think they picked entry number 5.
Good one.
Okay. Almost.
Almost.
Yeah.
Yes. Almost is simply a combination of all and most.
Ding!
That was a
swift one.
Said that.
In Anglo-Saxon times, and up until the 17th century, it meant mostly all or nearly all. Thus, one could say, my best friends are almost men, meaning most of them are men. But already by the 13th century, the modern sense, nearly, not quite, was well in place. So almost basically means all and most. A combination of that.
Which is kind of
that was almost.
Well, it's weird because now it's kind of bastardized. We don't use it that way anymore.
That's like saying I was almost cast as an extra in Denzel Washington's Remember the Titans.
No, but you think about the way we use almost now. We don't use it in the way that
I almost got lost.
Because think about it.
I almost hate you.
You wouldn't say almost the example they give about men.
Well,
almost to my friends, that doesn't make sense with what we use almost for now.
Yeah.
Craig Beard says, I was almost interested in the topic. Thank you very much. We'll be here till 11:30. Thank you. Try to feel. Yes.
And we got to make up for lost time.
Go way back up.
Okay.
Way back up. I want to pull some. I just want to feel honestly fair to a lot of our chatters who are here.
Yeah,
that
just don't read Bite.
Have not been mentioned. We gave him enough time. He can say his piece and all, but we can't keep picking you out all the time to talk about.
Oh, C-Flux says memorial service in Boston is about to begin.
Thank you.
I guess this late this morning or early this afternoon. Let's see. Planet X. We also have to register and limit purchases of bullets because the powder inside them can also be used. Like, wow, ain't that something?
Yes.
Go on. Okay.
Siggers says, you act like you've never seen an asshole cop before. No, we know they're out there, Siggers. We know they're out there. They've been out there for years and years and decades, and centuries, technically. So.
Happy Fanny says, can't you guys silence Vought for 30 minutes?
Yeah, we can by not mentioning them. I mean, you guys can still see them.
Yeah.
Words,
we're not paying attention anymore. City Bum, I fought... no, I'm not reading that. Because it brings him up again.
Yes.
A broken clock is right twice a day, City Bum. What does that mean?
That's what Derek says.
Even a broken clock is right twice
That's kind of like the same thing as saying even a blind squirrel catches a nut.
Oh.
Same phrase.
Okay, that's good.
Metaphor.
It's
11:12. We're going until about 11:30. Thank you for joining us on the Morning Roast here on VonLive.tv. We do this Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tomorrow will be Flippin' Friday.
City Bum, Siga, someone too scared to wait for a response and left. I don't know what that's about.
Well, we apologize, chatters and viewers, if we don't get to you all the time. We're trying our best to catch up with you guys and get with the topic.
And you guys are putting down a lot of shit.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it, when one or any of us are on a topic and want to roll talking, we can't help it. I agree. We don't shut up. I agree. But that's just the way it goes. So, and we're going to get to you guys and gals. Sorry about that.
By the way, Anonymous says they went through a 14-year legal battle. Can you afford a 14-year legal battle?
Well, she could. And guess what? It
paid off.
It paid off.
It paid off.
Whatever investment she made,
yes,
couldn't have been 14 years. You figure if he's on a retainer, 10 grand.
Yeah.
You think?
Oh, easily.
Easily. You can definitely pay that off. You got $1 billion.
Yeah, I mean, she's got $1 billion. Plus, I really do believe she's going to have some other sort of caveat thrown in there where from now on, whenever they make money off that movie, she's getting a royalty check.
Oh, yeah,
I guarantee that.
Oh, yeah.
So she's not only getting a royalty check repeatedly from anything, from animated versions, toys.
That commercial that's on now.
Yes.
They have a commercial on now with the guy that disappears.
Oh, yeah, Agent Smith. Yeah. Mr. Anderson.
She will get royalties, and I bet they will have to put her name on the credits.
Oh yes.
For every copy that comes out from
Yeah,
now
if they ever play it on TV or cable again, definitely.
Well, they bring it out in a new version in the theater. They do a new high-tech 3D version of it. They'll have to put her name
without
on it.
a doubt.
They'll have to put her name, which is good for her. Because you know what? People like that in Hollywood, these big schmucks that think they rule the world and have all the money to run people to the ground, they need to have to sometimes be cut down to size.
Mm-hmm.
Just like corrupt mayors, police, chiefs, and officers.
Yes. Speaking of someone who got cut down.
I love it. That's an awesome segue. This story, Derek and I were laughing about this at the break.
That looks like me holding.
Well, look at this. This is funny.
It does look like me, doesn't it?
This is funny.
Yeah, I was about to say. Man,
what's the source?
Were you about to say that?
Yeah.
What's the source?
The source is from MSN.com from United Arab Emirates.
I'm gonna go and wear that.
Let's do it.
It says men ejected from Saudi festival deported from being too handsome.
Isn't that
I
funny?
don't know why. Finally, a news story we can relate to. An annual cultural festival in the Saudi Arabian capital of Riyadh was interrupted when 3 men from the United Arab Emirates were rejected for being too handsome.
Yes.
A festival official said that 3 Emiratis were taken out on the grounds that they are too handsome and that the commission members that feared female visitors could fall for them. A news service said, adding that the festival's management took urgent measures to deport the 3 to Abu Dhabi. We have this problem a lot. In fact, prerequisite of employment at our site is at least 1 prior arrest for extreme handsomeness or beauty.
And this is not an Onion story. I mean, this is
from MSN. It's like, come on, gee, how terrible! Wow, I wish that happened to me. Someone you got to leave because you making all the women swoon, D.
I'm Fernando. This is Fernando's hideaway.
Oh,
I'm too handsome to leave.
Oh, that fake. Oh, this fake wrestler named.
Wait a minute, I got a news flash.
Some fake ass dude probably saw a couple of Dancing with the Stars videos. Got dyed his hair black. Got a Rosetta Stone Spanish DVD. Now he's Fandango.
Hey, I got a news flash. Donnie's back. He said, "Okay, guys, I'm back."
Hey, Donnie, guess what?
Let's celebrate.
Donnie, you got 5 minutes left in the show.
Wow.
We love Donnie. We really do. We do love Donnie. Come on. All right, well, maybe not that much, but
we love all of them. We even love.
Newsflash: Rosie never left.
We even love the guy who sounds like a venereal disease. We love them all.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry. Gamer Girl said, one of that guy in the gold shirt was the one that had him thrown out.
That's so.
Wow. Yeah. You're way too handsome for these women. Please.
You're making them wet their burqas as we speak.
Yes. You're messing up my game, man. You messed up my game.
Oh, Lord.
I'm supposed to have 72 virgins. I'm gonna end up getting 55. Come on.
That means when you die, sir, you're gonna have like 159 virgins because you're so goddamn pretty and handsome.
God, I love our show.
You're gonna have way more than 72 because they're gonna be lining up for you with the gates. That Allah has supplied.
I have to really hand it to the chatters. They have the greatest sense of humor.
They do.
They are awesome.
Rosalind calls us newsflash. Rosie never left.
There we go.
We apologize for ignoring you, Rosie. We love you, Rosie.
We love you, Rosie.
Thank you for hanging.
She's the best.
They're all the best.
They're all awesome. I love my chat.
I mean, our line looks awesome. You look to the right, it's like all these names are just filling up.
We got over 50 viewers.
That's the kind of show you gotta love.
Actually, we have.
Well, we went down to number 2. That's okay. We're gonna get off in about 5 minutes.
Yeah,
we're gonna be back in about 10.
I gotta head out soon because I gotta get my sister.
We have over 5,532 views. Wow. We have 40 followers now. Before we were higher. And viewers, we have 41. We were up to over 50. We were up to over 50.
Man, if we could only get 42 viewers, it'd be just so perfect with the Jackie Robinson.
We were 50.
No, we need 42 for the Jackie Robinson week. 42.
Let's go.
42. One more person.
Go call your friend up and tell him to get on.
One more person. 42.
Get one more person. Yes.
Okay, one more story, and then we got Daily Bread, and I got to get out of here. I got to take my sister-in-law to her job. She doesn't have her car.
Okay, this was one we had earlier. This one from the Macon Telegraph.
Yes.
F-15 test pilots now using advanced helmets.
F them.
Yeah. Yes, from Robins Air Force Base in Warner Robins, F-15 test pilots at Robins are learning to use futuristic helmet technology. The pilots are being trained in use of electronic helmets that essentially put the heads-up display inside the helmet, which they say offers many advantages in combat. Information such as speed, heading, altitude, and the location of friendly and enemy aircraft is projected onto the helmet visor. Once the planes undergo maintenance overhaul at Robins, the test pilots ensure the planes are ready to go back into operation. By using the helmets called the Joint Mount Queuing System, the pilots can now test the system and make sure it is operating properly before the planes are returned to operation. Lieutenant Colonel Chris Coddington, an F-15 test pilot, has used the technology in combat, but was getting some refresher training Wednesday during a test flight for an F-15E Strike Eagle. It eliminates the need to point your airplane at something, Coddington said. So if I see something on the ground I want to designate as a target, without this, I need to maneuver the airplane to point at whatever it is and designate it via the heads-up display. But with this, I can fly maintaining formation and designate the target by simply looking at it.
I would have thought they already had that capability. That surprises me that they didn't have that already.
Well, they probably had. They just never tested it.
Yeah.
Or at least wasn't. Or at least
yeah,
getting
they
bugs
had
out.
it. They had. Well, they have to test these things.
And
for a
we
long
need
time.
you, brother, for daily bread music.
Yes.
Look at these pictures, by the way.
Yeah, we showed them earlier. We all looked at them earlier. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's not homegrown terrorists, I don't think.
Yes, right now, only the pilot seat in the Strike Eagle is equipped for the electronic helmet, the newer F-15s. But the Spasato said that the rear seat will also be equipped for next year. I guess that's for the wingman. In the plane.
Because every good handsome player needs a wingman.
Yes.
And you need your wingman. Regardless if you have your new visor helmet that does work for you, you still need your wingman.
As he said, yes.
Any more stories?
Now let's do that daily bread. I got to get the hell out of here.
That's pretty much all I have right now.
To work.
Plus, speaking of which, I went to the mall doing some walking exercise.
Shut your mouth.
Really? And there was this guy in a motorcycle. It kind of freaked me out because he instead of having a regular full face motorcycle, I mean, he had like a big Iron Man motorcycle.
Oh,
basically,
cool.
he just had like the helmet.
Like
thing.
Eric Hardo with his two horns?
Yeah, and with the two eyepiece right there. That's
wait. The Holy Spirit is spoken.
It's cool and creepy at the same. Oh yes, Daily.
You guys got no respect. Okay. I'm just kidding.
A 5. He's got a 5 on his 4.
I got a what?
A 5 on your head.
Oh, wrinkles.
You got it.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Rosalind's watching. Look at the camera, Irvin. Rosalind wants to
Okay.
read you. Read your lips.
From bleak to beautiful. Spring is a time of year when God reminds us that things are not always as they seem. Over the course of a few short weeks, what appears hopelessly dead comes to life. Bleak woodlands are transformed into colorful landscapes. Trees whose naked arms reach to heaven all winter as if pleading to be clothed, suddenly are adored with lacy grown green. Flowers that faded and fell to the ground in surrender to the cold rise slowly from the earth in defiance of death. In Scripture, we read about some apparent hopeless situations. One example is that of the wealthy man named Job, whom God described as having integrity, Job 2:3. Disaster struck Job, lost everything important to him. In misery, he said, "My days are spent without hope." 7:6. What appeared to Job and his friends was evidence that God had turned against him was just the opposite. God was so confident of Job's integrity that he trusted him in this battle with Satan. Later, Job's hope and life were renewed. The faithful arrival of spring every year comforts me, and it does, when I'm in a situation that seems hopeless. With God, there is no such thing. No matter how bleak the landscape of life may look, God can transform it into a glorious garden of color and fragrance. Julie Ackerman, Link. Dear God, we pray for faith anew, for greater trust in all we do, for hope that never knows defeat, for victory at thy mercy seat. With God there is hope, even in the most hopeless situation. The Lord blessed the latter days of Job more than the beginning. Job 42:12. There you have it.
Thank you. Three Bears. I'm not disrespecting Irvin's reading. I just wanted to clean up before I got to rush out because my sister-in-law needs a ride to work. Her car's in the shop.
Thank you, Gamer Girl.
I wanted to, well, that was Three Bears.
Oh, thank you,
I
Three
wasn't
Bears.
disrespecting. I just wanted to move the air conditioner back and throw the shit away so I could get out of here.
All right. Well,
I respect Irvin's right and everybody else's right to believe in that and say it just as much as I can go on here and spout my crap. So that's the way it goes.
But anyway, it's all good. Rosalind, I hope you heard that.
Saw it. You know,
I hope that you saw me. I was reading it.
Saw it.
Okay.
Anyway, we're too damn handsome to stick around. They're telling us to get the hell out of here. Okay, so I got to go, man. I mean, we're just too damn. We look too damn good for
That's
this
what you
shit,
said
all right?
yesterday. I gotta go.
That was good to be back, guys. Good to be back.
Great to have you back. I love you.
Ed, love you. Good to be back.
Good
I
show.
gotta get out of
Thank
here.
you, everybody.
Do the roster.
We'll do the roster. We have thank you for City Bum, BK77, Saibuki, Donnie Curry,
Yeah.
Gecko Lizard, Rosalind Nicole, Vorpalbite.
Thank you, Rosalind.
Yuri Wildcat, Gamer Girl, thank you very much. Classic Canvas, The Three Bears, Tower of London, Blue Notes,
Yeah.
1, DJ Mean Gene, Manny, Obama's Cat, R3 Link,
Awesome.
Randall
Got a
68,
whole bunch of new people.
Anonymous, Happy Family, Fanny, Happy Fanny, Sigas, and Planet X. Thank you
And
very
I
much.
believe Coffee Guy was on a short time earlier.
Yeah.
Thank you, Coffee Guy.
And DS Photo Guy, is he
DS
still
Photo
on?
Guy was on. Did Derek Shapiro ever show up?
No.
No. Okay.
But I did want to thank DJ Mean G3.
DJ Mean J.
This is the longest he stood on the show,
Awesome.
and I'm glad he was here.
Ed, please tag me on this video today. I want to pull
Take care,
some of that
Gamer Girl.
shit where we were really going off on the Sutton thing.
Yeah.
On today's show, once you put it together for us, please tag Heather so I can get it on her Facebook page, or show me where it is.
It goes on the Morning Roast page.
It does. Okay.
Yeah.
And then from there, I can share it.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I think we said a lot of good stuff on the show today. I want to get
Yeah.
that out there more. I think we dealt with a lot of good stuff.
Rosalind Sakos says, take care, guys. Have a good, safe day. And Aunt, please don't get arrested today.
I should. Love you guys.
I love it.
Bye.
Now she says please again.
Yes. Please be good.
Yes.
All
It's
right.
68 degrees outside of Macon, Georgia with a high of 84, low 65. We'll see you on Flipping Friday. Take care. See you next Vaughn channel, next Vaughn station.
That's tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Tomorrow. Show.